hello there, hello there, hello there. Or should I say salam alaikum, dear friends, brothers, sisters and NBs, under Allah. Because I did the thing. It's you see the title. Why am I pointing upwards? It's down. It's the title. So New York has fallen.
Stop it. Get some help.
How are we all? It's mad. I'm a little bit hype about it all because like you forget sometimes that occasionally good things can happen. It's fucking rare, but occasionally good things are possible in this world. So that's nice. Anyway, how are we all? Are we well? Hello, Sister Rose. Everyone go and follow Sister Rose in chat, by the way. And thank you, Davey B 202488. Which I don't know if is that a date of birth or something. I don't know. But whatever. Welcome to the Kevolution. Thank you for aiding and abetting me. I mean, when I am prescribed as a terrorist by the British government, which is bound to happen at some point, I'm sure, for some kind of transgression against His Royal Britannic Majesty and his government, I'm certain that that you won't be able to fund me at that point. Giving money to me will be akin to aiding and abetting a terrorist. So, but for the time being, you can give me money. You can. It is legally allowed. Morally, that's obviously up to the individual, but legally, it is fine. Anyway, haircut. No, I haven't had a haircut. I've just got the thing, and I can take it out. It's just the hair gets in my face. I've still got my locks. I just had a hair twizzly fucking thing in there. Especially when it's sweaty. I don't like sweaty hair. It's a bit weird. It's not a thing I'm used to. I've never really had long hair before. I think I've said before, like I'm growing it out just because it's probably the last time I'm going to be able to. Because it's starting to thin a little bit. Not much, not like crazy. But like enough where, and I've said this before, once it starts to thin too much, it's all coming off. Like I'm just going completely bald. I'm not letting it like recede and I become like a fucking middle-aged man. No, it's not happening. So, so whilst I've still got it, I'm flaunting it in the most grotesque way. Not grotesque. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember. Anyway, over the top, whatever, way possible. So yeah, that's happening. And yeah, I'm not getting hair plugs, and I'm not doing all that shit. I'm not fucking putting just for men in it. No, just it's au naturel as it always has been. So it's I'm growing it out whilst I still can. And then I'm going completely fucking bald. One day I'll just turn up on stream. Look, I'll have lost a bit of hair in the shower, and I'll look, and it'll be too thin. I'll just get the fucking zipper out. Gone. Done. And then I'm shaving the cunt every day. Not shaving a cunt every day. That would be a very different thing. Although if there are any women who want in on that, I guess it's we can discuss. But that's not what I intended. I mean, I'm shaving my head every day because it's just weird. You see a person with half hair, and it's just weird. Or you see a person with a wig, and it's even worse. Honestly, I've never seen a person in a wig. Actually, that's not true. Women can do wigs, fine. Nice long big wig, absolutely fine. But dudes with wigs, awful. Oh, God almighty. It just doesn't work. Sort of traditionally shorter hair wigs are just too obvious. It just lifts a little bit away at the back, or like it just doesn't quite look right. The best part of this is how mad it's made specifically Brianna Wu. I haven't even seen Brianna Wu's shit. I didn't even think to check. If someone wants to link me to her meltdown, because I've basically right. We're going to be taking a look at a couple of different things today. There's been so much crazy shit going on that I've just done the old school thing of bookmarking loads of shit on Twitter, right? So we're going to take a look at that. And then we're going to do PMQs, Prime Minister's questions here from the United States of Great Britbongland, which will be cancerous, I'm sure. And then a little thing at the end, which we'll get to. Anyway, yes, but as part of that, I've bookmarked a million things about the Zohran win. He won, in case anyone missed that. If you're a leftoid that's been hiding under a rock, Zohran Mamdani has founded the Islamic Republic of New York City by winning the Democratic Party primary for that position. And yes, he still has to be elected the mayor in the official election next year? Next summer? Whatever. Or next autumn? I don't even know when it is. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really. Yeah, his new name is Caliph. That is true. Although Sharif is another name that they can go by, I believe. Anyway, yes, but it's New York City, so like, it's not even an option. Like the fucking. Did you? There was a quote from the Republican candidate, because they already selected theirs before. The Republican candidate, who was basically already conceding that he's going to lose regardless of who wins in the Democratic campaign. He was just like, yeah, like I'm either going to be against a Muslimo socialist or a sex offender or whatever. Fucking incredible shit. So yeah, look, it's New York City. The Democrat wins. That's, yeah, easy. Sent you. What? That is confusing. That is confusing. Sister Rose. I don't know what you mean by that. Yeah. Unless, hang on, you mean sent you as in you've sent it to me? And again, we had this problem yesterday with somebody. When you say you've sent me a thing, you do have to inform me on which of the platforms you sent it to me. Because, I mean, I could look through Twitter and Facebook and Threads and Blue Sky and TikTok and Instagram and Discord. I could look for those things. I'm not going to. I'm currently trying to do a show. So where the fuck did you send this thing to me? Sorry. I'll get emotional. The left won a thing today, so like just bear with me. Sorry, I'm eating dinner. Discord and Blue Sky. Okay, thank you. Woe betide a man who gets between an Irish woman and her dinner, is all I'm saying. What we got? I've seen enough. Oh God, we're so fucked. Okay, it's on the list. It's on the list. Beautiful stuff. Brianna Wu, the person who literally didn't know what the fucking what an intifada was, didn't know what the Nakba was, had no idea about any of this like a year ago, and now is all of a sudden a geopolitical expert on Iran's nuclear blah blah blah, you know, all that shit. I attached it to a carrier cat-sized rat. Oh, that's fair enough. Well, look, the cat-sized rats are integrated into Birmingham society now, so they're part of the gig economy. Which is probably where Splinter got all of those pizzas for his Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Was he was a pizza delivery man who was skimping off the top, is what I reckon. I don't know that being the father of 4 turtles is itself a very profitable existence, financially speaking. But you know what? Zohran Mamdani will now ensure that that pizza delivery driver is going to be getting a minimum wage of $30.
Oil like
Bringing it back. Fuck yes. Thank you, Carl Brown, for gifting a membership on YouTube. Much fucking love to you, my friend. God bless. Anyway, why do I say God bless? It's not even a thing I believe in. Fuck it, we're all Muslim today. Let's go. I forgot to ask yesterday, do you like that Asian dish I showed you in Discord? Well, as food, probably not so much. It didn't look very appetizing, but he was in the shape of a man with his buttocks out, so like, yeah, I guess that's fine. Whatever. Yes. So, If you wanted to help me, because I live in a place that doesn't have an Islamo-socialist who elected, so I do have to unfortunately live still in non-Islamo-capitalism. It's not, yeah, you get the idea. Yes, you can hit the follow button. You can subscribe. You can subscribe with Amazon Prime. You can gift subs to the community. You can do super chats. $2 or more gets you a text-to-speech. That's via the Streamlabs link below. You can do bits messages. 200 bitty bits gets you a text-to-speech. 200 bits or more gets you a text-to-speech. Where am I next? Discord. I've got a Patreon and a PayPal. I've got YouTube, Blue Sky. No, well, I do have the internet, but that's not a thing that anyway. Discord. Blue Sky, Threads, other things.
Get some help.
I really fucking should. Thank you, Andrek1973, for subscribing with Prime. Much love to you, my friend. $5 at a time, we're going to destroy Jeff Bezos. And then I will be able to afford to buy Venice for my second marriage. Did you see that this week? Fucking Jeff Bezos is having his second marriage. I've dropped my fucking thing, and it's literally disappeared into the mess of wires. My hair will never be restrained. Oh, there it is. Oh. Stop playing with it, Kev. Anyway, yeah, Jeff Bezos, and he's basically hired out like the centre of Venice, and the people, the Venetians, not massively happy about the whole situation. But the people who run Venice couldn't give a fuck. Who'd have thought it? Corrupt Italian leaders. Mad. Anyway, we'll get on to corrupt British leaders as well. That wasn't just a dig at Italy. All of the Westernoids are bastards. I'll be a sub. Oh, wait, wrong type. There's no wrong type of sub, my friend. Yes. Where was I? Yeah, if you're on YouTube, or your YouTube, you can subscribe for free. You can hit the thumbs up button. Helps in the algorithm. You can do click the bell icon to get notified, which is sort of what the whole point of subscribing was in the first place. But YouTube are so shit that they just seem to have forgotten that. So unless you click the fucking bell icon, you might not get notified, and then you might not anyway, because YouTube is shit, as aforementioned. You can become a member for 99 pence. You can give memberships to the community, and you can do super chats, which I will read out. Even if they are bigoted, because I'll read them out and then rip you to pieces for it. So, you know, you can do that if you wanted to. It would also scare the shit out of me because it's the noise thing. I did have, today, there's, I mean, obviously, the famous, where is it? Oh, God. Well, I don't know where it is the basic point. The famous meme from yesterday of Donald Trump. Is it around? Do I even have it bookmarked? Basically, him saying they don't know what the fuck they're doing, right? And I had that queued up, so someone clipped it for me. I could have just clipped it myself, I guess, but whatever. Someone had already done it. And I was going to upload that as a new sound alert. And then I thought to myself, like, I don't want his voice on my fucking show any more than it absolutely has to be. So I didn't upload it because, like, I just don't want to. I don't want I don't want his fucking voice in my head, even if it is a funny little bit like that. Like, to hear it 20 times in a show or whatever, which, like, that happens. That's the noise notification. That's sort of one of the things. I don't want that. I don't like listening to him. He's a wanker, you know. Jeff Bezos alters Venice wedding plans after threat of inflatable crocodiles. Okay, you have my attention. That is a fucking headline right there, my friends. Okie doke. Amazon founder reportedly forced to change venue for his wedding celebrations in Italian city. Not right now, thank you, Guardian. I'd much rather cut off my balls than give you money. Campaigners in Venice have claimed victory after Jeff Bezos was reportedly forced to change the venue of his wedding celebrations in the city as his guests started arriving on Tuesday for a 3-day jamboree, because apparently he's literally a Roman emperor who's just doing a parade or whatever. The main reception for the wedding of Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, a former TV journalist, was due to be held in the Scuola Grande della blah 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 blah, a majestic 16th century building in the city centre. But according to the No Space for Bezos group, which is suspiciously English for an Italian group, the couple relented after activists threatened to fill the canals with inflatable crocodiles to block the celebrity guests from entering. Now, okay, hear me out. One small improvement they could have made to this. Don't get me wrong, I admire it, I love it, it's beautiful. One small upgrade I would have for them. Why inflatable crocodiles and not real ones? The phrase is "eat the rich." It doesn't specify who has to eat the rich. It's not species specific as to who is eating the rich. Fill all of the Venice canals with real crocodiles and let nature take its course. If the rich are indeed the fittest amongst us, as they so clearly believe themselves to be, they are our betters. They will merely fight off the pesky. What kind of animals are they? I don't know. Anyway, dinosaur? No, they're not dinosaurs. You can't. Reptiles, amphibians? I don't know what the fuck they are. Cunts. The scaly cunts, right? They'll fight them off, and it won't be a problem. Or we'll have some very, very yummy meals for crocodiles and dinosaurs or whatever, you know. Dinosaurs? What? I've got dinosaurs. Fucking alligators, whatever. I don't fucking know. They're reptiles. That's what I was going for. Anyway. The event will still take place in Arsenale, a historic complex of shipyards surrounding the fortified walls that will be much harder for the protests to penetrate, giggity. According to local press reports, the venue switch was also due to security concerns after the US joined the war between Israel and Iran, specifically because Donald Trump's daughter Ivanka arrived in Venice on Tuesday. Again, real crocodiles, people. Come on now. The authorities in Venice have upped security across the city, particularly in the Jewish neighbourhood. Okay. In 200 or so wedding guests, who may also include Elon Musk, Kim Kardashian and Leonardo DiCaprio. Well, if Elon Musk's going to go there, whoever gets to eat him, that crocodile is going to be very, very high. On Wednesday, an estimated 95 planes are reported to be landing at the city's airports. Crocodiles. That's all I'm saying, people. Real crocodiles. Does anyone know when Helena is back? Are you jonesing for her? Are you sick of having to watch the Kev for your daily intake of news? Oh god. You can go and watch what do you call it? Turn Left or Navarra. You know. Or if you're just asking nicely, I don't know when they're back. Like, they're on holiday, so I don't really want to disturb them, you know? Like, I probably could. I could be, like, a dick about it and be like, oh, when are you back? But, When's Bins? When's Bins? Bins is on Fridays, and they probably won't collect this week either. What the council have basically done now, for those who don't know, there's a bin strike in Birmingham. It's been going on for fucking ages. It's they've got enough scab labour that they can collect from each place sort of once every 3 weeks or so that you don't get the absolute piles and piles of bin bags that, you know, was at the start of the strike when they had no collections at all, and that made national and indeed international embarrassing news. So what they're doing is sort of going around the different bins areas and collecting them just enough that it might look bad, but not like third world bad. Do you know what I mean? That's the council are happy enough with that, basically. As long as we don't look like a broken, failed state, we just look, you know, messy as shit and kind of like awful, but not like world class awful. We're not in the Premier League of poverty. Do you know what I mean? Which, you know, is one hell of a way to start the decade of renewal with a Labour government and a Labour council, isn't it? We're certainly very, very glad we got the Tories out. Anyway, actually, no, to be fair, we are glad we got the Tories out. It's just, it hasn't improved. More on that later, I suppose. Right. This, as used to happen, for the old heads of the channel, you may remember Christy and I, Christy, who hopefully will be back with us on Friday for a happy hour, used to do, back before Elon Musk took over Twitter and it became a Nazi hellscape, and it was just a bit of a Nazi hellscape, used to just bookmark stuff during the week, and then just sort of cover it, as it were. But because you can't collate the bookmarks, it's a roller coaster of emotions, right? You get like stories, you'd be like, genocide, cute cat, fucking... The army did a thing. Oh, a policeman killed somebody. Terrible news. Corruption. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, a funny puppy fell over or something, you know. It's like up and down and up and down. So, like, prepare yourself for a little bit of everything. There's some funny shit in there. There's some cool memes. The right wing melting down about Zohran Mamdani. Oh, it's beautiful. So, yeah. Boop. Headline from the Telegraph. Former British service for, Special Forces poised to deliver aid to new Gaza gated communities. Israel set to engage private military contractors to create safe bubbles for Palestinians. They're talking about concentration camps, right? They're like definitely talking about concentration camps. They have gentrified the concept of the concentration camp. Incredible. I mean, just spectacular framing there. Well done. Oh, Brad Lander. So, we talked about Zohran Mamdani. Won, and he won quite comfortably as well. He won by like 7-8 points or some shit. It was fucking incredible. And it'll be interesting to break down exactly the bits where he won and lost and how much by and all the rest of it. Because interesting one, Hakeem Jeffries, the piece of shit, Mamdani won in his district by 43 points. Interesting. Just saying. Maybe we primary some wankers. Anyway, Lander, Brad Lander, who came in third with 11%, which doesn't sound that much, but it's pretty impressive considering he and Mamdani co-endorsed one another, because it's ranked choice voting, right? So you put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And the whole point was don't put Cuomo anywhere. Okay, we are official, absolute Cuomophobes on this channel, okay? You never rank a Cuomo. The dirty Cuomos need to fuck off. Okay? If you want to be a Cuomo in your own home, that's fine. But why have you got to put it in everyone's face? Unbelievable. So, yeah, Brad Lander was... between the two of them, between Lander and Mamdani, they got like 56% of the vote or something, which is pretty impressive. That's, you know, that's pretty fucking good. And so he was quite happy about it all, and taking the lead of the President of the United States, decided to drop an F-bomb of his own.
Andrew Cuomo is in the past. He is not the present or future of New York City. Good fucking riddance. Andrew Cuomo. Good fucking riddance.
Yes. Good lad. Good lad. Fucking sex pest, corrupt piece of shit, granny murderer. Yeah. Get fucked, mate. Good fucking riddance. Let's fucking go. Oh, and onto the fucking cope. Oh, the right wing have been going mental. Charlie Kirk, he of the tiny face and even tinier penis, says 24 years ago a Muslim killed 2,753... Sorry, a group of Muslims killed 2,753 people on 9/11. Now a Muslim socialist is on pace to run New York City. Off with the mask and on with the hood, it would appear, for the right wing now. Amazing shit. Oh, this fucking wanker. You may remember him from the video I covered on PragerU about how sport and politics shouldn't meet. So this sports commentator probably won't mention politics, I imagine, because he'd be a massive hypocrite if he did.
This guy said that he would arrest Benjamin Netanyahu for crimes against human rights if he came to visit New York City.
Yeah, based. Based as fuck, yeah. Yeah, good.
This is what this guy said. This guy said he wants to replace police officers with social workers.
Yeah, good. Far less murder. Probably less racism and domestic abuse too. Yeah, good.
If you need help because you need the NYPD, this guy...
Who the fuck needs the NYPD? What good do they do? Like, other than, I don't know, murdering people for fare dodging, like, what do they actually do? At all?
He says, no, we're going to send you a social worker instead. This is a disaster, maybe unbelievably worse than Chicago, worse than LA. New York City is on the cusp of electing the worst mayor that they have ever chose, Bill de Blasio. People are going to be wishing that he was the guy.
Oh, their tears. Oh, they're so Moorish. Oh, fuck yes. Honestly, I could drink in these tears. Beautiful. Oh, Eve Barlow. Eve Fartlow herself, she's been having quite a meltdown. For those who don't remember her, she is the Scottish woman who likes to go over to Israel and pretend to be like a warrior until it gets too much, and then she flies back to LA because that's where she lives. She also is the person that famously mistook a free parking sign as saying Free Palestine, and apparently this destroyed her or something, and she had to put this on Twitter. Amazing. A genuinely mental Hasbro freak. She says, this happened in the UK. It was called Jombly Crumbles. Anyway, enjoy. Ironically, she's not wrong. She's not wrong. Just in a completely different way than she intends. Because this did happen in the UK. Yes, cunts like you smeared an innocent guy who just wanted to help people as being an anti-Semite in order to try and destroy them. And it was called Jeremy Corbyn, yes. That's not what she means when she says this, but that is actually just true. So, you know. Accidentally correct. Bravo. Oh, oil your Kobe. Probably Hasbro's dumbest cunt. New York City has announced that it will change its name to New Gaza City. So, what, presumably, the Israel are going to fire on it then? Or something? I don't know. By the way, Israel has announced the quote-unquote ceasefire does sort of appear to be, not necessarily holding, but like, for the time being, the Israelis have said they're going to turn their eyes back to Gaza. So, in case you were wondering how Israel was going to take it when they fought an army that could fight back, they've gone, okay, we don't like that. We're going to go back to like bombing kids, shooting some dead kids dead. Can we go back to just bombing hospitals, please? They can't really fire back on us. Literally. They're not beating the allegations anytime soon, let's put it that way. Yes, so a Muslim guy and a Jewish guy joined together to defeat the Italians. Fuck yes. This is the future leftists want. Labour councillor defected to the Green Party in, was it Lancashire or somewhere? Where was it? Oh no, New Cross Gate, London. I'm completely wrong end of the country, but still, good for them. Yeah, it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close, lads. Unbelievable. Beautiful. A prediction from June the 6th. No one named Zohran will ever win the New York City mayor race. Good luck with that. Cool. Ethan Klein on suicide watch. Yeah, he wasn't happy about this. But he's not a Zionist. Don't call him a Zionist. That's outrageous. And he doesn't hate Muslims. He's a misunderstood liberal. Okay? What's this? Oh, yeah, he dropped a Nelson Mandela on us. Like, this might be the only time in history where I will accept an American politician, like, quoting Nelson Mandela, because it's usually some crazy shit, like Marjorie Taylor Greene saying, oh, Nelson Mandela agreed with me, the Jewish space laser is real. You know, some shit like that, right? Or, like, in 1984, it says we shouldn't tax the rich. You know, that kind of dumb shit. But I'll give him this one. He says, in the words of Nelson Mandela, it always seems impossible until it's done. My friends, it is done. And you are the ones who did it. I am honoured to be your Democratic nominee for the Mayor of New York City. Oh, he's too good, this lad, isn't he? God, he's good. Honestly, I actually want to suck his penis. I just, I want him to fucking use me like a fucking ragdoll. But unfortunately, he's married to, like, a genuinely stunning woman. Like crazy beautiful. So, like, I've got no chance. But I'm just putting it out there. Zohran, if you ever want to slum it, if you ever want a bit of strange, you know where I am. Oh, Laura Loomer. Talking of people who like to suck dick. In her case, the President of the United States, apparently. Yeah. Laura Loomer says, Zohran Mamdani hasn't even been a US citizen for 10 years. He is literally supported by terrorists. New York City's about to see 9/11 2.0. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, what are you talking about? Like, okay, if that's the way it goes, does that mean that Rudy Giuliani did 9/11 the first time? Because you remember that, right? He was the mayor of New York City when 9/11 1.0 happened. So, like, is he to blame for 9/11? Fucking idiot. Did you vote for Zohran yet? I did. I'm a registered Cuomophobe. Can we take Cuomophobe on as our new slur? I definitely, like, I think that needs to be a thing. I think Cuomophobe needs to be a thing. Because, like you should be afraid of him, because, like, he's a very, very nasty human being who sexually assaults people and has corruptly taken millions out of the New York City pot and killed loads of old people. So, yeah. I'm on board. Sex offender down. Oh, just let it sit there for a second. I'll just let it sit there. Just let it vibe, you know. It's all good. How are we, chat? How are we, chitty chat and kitty cats? Are we good? The group Stop Anti-Semitism. Yeah, you can guess what that group's about. It's not about stopping anti-Semitism, bizarrely. Says, Zohran Mamdani's inner circle includes Linda Sarsour, Rashida Tlaib, Hassan Piker, Mehdi Hassan, Mohammed Al-Kurd, Brianna Joy Gray, and Ali Abdullah. Imagine what New York City is going to look like if this parasitic socialist takes a hold of the mayor's seat. I don't know that a group that really cares about anti-Semitism would play into the idea of referring to other humans as parasites. Because unfortunately, that is one of the disgusting tropes that gets used by, Nazis and stuff like that to dehumanize Jewish people, is to refer to them as parasitic in some way. And so really, if you cared about anti-Semitism, you probably wouldn't play into that trope yourself, I think. Which does rather give away that you're not an anti-Semitism campaign, you are just a pro-Zionism campaign. As if we didn't already know that. It's white boy jihad summer. Oh, he's not living down the 9/11 accusations, is he? Anytime soon.
6 to base. I'm just on lunch break. I'll be
Here you go, my friend. Fresh hummus, sauce, bread, and falafel.
Oh, okay, I've been meaning to try this Arab food. I heard it's pretty good.
It's the best in the West, my friend. How is the food, my friend?
Alhamdulillah.
Here you go, my friend. Shawarma and mango juice.
Bismillah. Wallahi banana. Alhamdulillah. 6 to base. I'm just.
It's true. That's how they get you. That's how they make you a Muslimic. It's with falafel. Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough. What is this?
Mayor Mamdani, would you welcome Prime Minister Netanyahu to New York City for whatever he comes for, given the US is not a signatory to the ICC, so he can travel to the US, unlike a lot of other countries. Would a Mayor Mamdani welcome Benjamin Netanyahu to the city?
No. As mayor, New York City would arrest Benjamin Netanyahu. This is a city that our values are in line with international law. It's time that our actions are also.
Even though the US is not a signatory to the ICC?
No, it's time that we actually step up and make clear what we are willing to do to showcase the leadership that is sorely missing in the federal administration.
A mayor...
Inshallah, brother. Inshallah. What's this? Dude bros are shouting and hugging each other. You guys, Zohran Mamdani solved male loneliness. He did. Where we at? Oh, yes. Ultra-Zionist piece of shite fucking Richie Torres. He won't run for the New York City governorship if socialist is elected New York mayor. I mean, the W's just keep raining down today. Fuck yes. Let's primary this prick and get rid of him completely. Absolutely. He shouldn't be fucking welcome in New York. Prick. This is even Cuomo's paid canvassers voted for Mamdani. Literally, even Cuomo's paid fucking canvassers didn't like him. There you go. Now, this isn't necessarily relevant to anything, but it is funny. So, fuck it.
What's your take?
When they get rid of all the illegals in this country, white billionaires will then magically become generous and start paying people a living wage because they inadvertently got rid of their excuse as to why they're not paying people.
True. See, that, yes. If we just get rid of all the illegals, they'll definitely start paying their taxes. They will.
100% disagree.
Okay.
Why would they all of a sudden start paying?
Because it's the illegal aliens' fault. That's why.
So what's the problem?
They need to come to this country the right way, the way my people came here.
On a boat?
Yeah, that's the way you do it.
You're pilgrim-blooded, right?
I think, yeah, you go back a couple generations. Yeah, my people had a belt buckle right on the front of their hat.
Turkey boys, Thanksgiving boys.
That was the name of their gang. They were the Turkey
The
Boys.
Turkey Boys. The Turkey Boys. That's a great name. Oh, I love it.
Some of your jokes are about how everyone is mad at everyone else. And no one's mad at the right people.
Yeah, they have states hating other states. People in red states don't like California. People in California don't like Texas. Somewhere along the line we missed that it's the United States. And that we're all on the same team. And these psychos at the top, they just get everybody all stirred up. This guy's causing riots in American cities. And, you know, there's people trying to get to their apartments and they're getting shot with rubber bullets. And we are so divided because of CNN and Fox News that as long as the bullets are going at the countrymen that are wearing the wrong tie, you somehow don't view them as on your team anymore. And it's a really dangerous time. I have faith, though, that through things like this and social media, you know, because you've seen it's brought down regimes around, you know, the world, that we can get on the same page. But one of the things I hate the most, people will write things like, I will never forgive people that voted for Trump. And it's just like, well, now you just caused division.
Yeah.
You want to bring them over. You know what I mean? It's like, well, you also just voted for a guy that should have been in a home. You know, he's on his back porch talking to himself.
I saw a great tweet the other day that said,
True. I do wish Joe Biden was alive to see Zohran Mamdani get elected. But unfortunately, he died ages ago, I think. So, you know.
Joe Biden was alive to see this.
I saw a funny T-shirt. This guy walked around and said, "Is he dead yet?"
What's your take?
It's true. It's true. Wow. Chris Matthews, a man who should have been sent to Guantanamo many years ago, says, warns of executions in Central Park if socialism wins. What fucking powers do you think the mayor of New York City has? The mayor doesn't get to decide on fucking, like, executions. That's not within his purview at all. Oh, was it about... Oh, Bernie. Oh, okay. Well, even the president doesn't really get to decide about that. The memes, man. Oh, there's so much going on here. I like Marxism acid, because I think that's just directly ripped from, what's his fucking name? Ben Garrison. Kev, I don't think I've seen you this happy. Well, we forget, don't we, within all of the gloom, that occasionally good things can happen. So, like, I'm giddy. I'm high on this. It's the Morton, yeah. I just hope when he gets elected he isn't that shit. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not expecting him to achieve everything he's promised, right? Of course. But, you know, like, if he gets fucking 60% of the shit through, the people of New York are going to have a better fucking life, man. So, yeah, cool. Awesome. No hope is better than false hope. True. That's the British dream. Actually, someone said that the other day. You know, we all know what the American dream is. What's the British dream? And I couldn't really work out what the British dream was. And I thought to myself, you know what it probably is? 24-hour Gregs. And maybe 24-hour spoons. That's probably the British dream, really, isn't it? Let's go, Mamdani. I voted for him. Fuck yes, NYC guy. Fuck yes. Let's go. Oh, Charlie Kirk again. Tiny face, even tinier cock. London, Calgary, Rotterdam, and soon New York City. The power centres of the West will soon... Oh yeah, fucking Calgary, one of the power centres of the West. Will soon have Muslim mayors. You become what you import. Wowzer, he's just gone full fucking... Just full, like, fucking KKK now. Unbelievable shit. Calgary Mayor Jyoti Gondek is a Sikh and not a Muslim. Yeah. I suspect Charlie Kirk doesn't really care about that fact. Because he's brown, so that's enough. That's basically too Muslim, even though he isn't Muslim at all. Breaking. Gaza just showed up at Cuomo's house with some cans and a fishing rod and a roast chicken. I can believe it. I can actually believe that. Yeah. Where is Calgary? It is in Canada, which isn't real. It's not real. Nate Silver. Have we seen a more completely and utterly ruined person than Nate Silver? Do you remember when Nate Silver was like a respected pollster? Do you remember that? Do you remember when there was like he was a well-respected dude who like people thought knew anything about the world around him, and then he got everything wrong forever because he's basically bought and paid for? Yeah, that's happened now. Maybe Zohran wins an election 2 weeks ago, and maybe Lander or someone would emerge if you had another month to go. Markets have Cuomo back at 3-1 favourite for now, though. Mamdani won by like 8% or some shit, or 7%. Like, it wasn't even close. It was a battering. Your boy took one hell of a beating. Who is this cunt?
You use several adjectives. I would agree with all of those. And living side by side in security with Israel, a Zionist, if you will, Palestinian state that.
A Zionist Palestinian state is a thing that this creature, I don't want to say human, this thing said. That's a thing that the Canadian Prime Minister just said. A Zionist Palestinian state. Like, okay, I also want a married bachelor. Like, yeah, let's do that. Because Zionism exists to destroy Palestine. Zionism's entire goal is to destroy, well, not just Palestine, but several other countries in that region in the long term. So, you know. Yeah, I also want a virgin who loves to fuck. Prick. What the fuck is RJC? The Republican Jewish Coalition. Brilliant. Says, evacuate New York City immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Then, Betar Worldwide says, we urge all Jews to evacuate New York City. Forgetting, of course, that Brad Lander, a Jewish New Yorker, literally endorsed Mamdani, and thousands of Jewish New Yorkers voted for him, but okay. And then, brilliantly, even though their name there, you may notice, is at Betar_USA. Okay? They are promoting themselves as a USA-based organisation. They're called Betar Worldwide, but it's at Betar_USA.
Stop it. Get some help.
I will deal with that in just a second, because I have things to say. Someone, a Jewish person called Yakovov, says, you first, and Betar says, we are in Israel. Could they make it any more obvious that it's just like a fucking Israeli astroturfing fucking scam that's being run throughout American media? Like it's a fucking joke. You're called Betar_USA. We're in Israel. Yeah, we fucking know, mate. Jesus Christ almighty. But anyway, you need to evacuate New York City, apparently. I don't know quite what he's going to do, but yeah, okay, cool. Gary Kasparov, a fucking idiot, says socialism is like polio. It comes back when people forget the horrible damage it did last time. Did you know socialism killed 200 gazillion people? It did, it did. Oh, we're on a hype train. If we get to level 2 of the hype train, I will finger New York because it's dead. It was killed by Zohran Mamdani. And you can help me in that endeavour by bits and subs on Twitch. Thank you, Boy Meets Minnie, who says, Mark Carney more like Dork Carney, am I right? That is true. I do just have to... Boy Meets Minnie, I love you dearly, you know this. But I do just have to point out to you, the Indian cricket team were spectacularly pathetic on the last day of the Test match. I'm just saying. Okay, I did have to point that out. The first team in the history of Test match cricket to score 5 centuries and lose. The highest combined total ever put on by India in a loss. I thought it was fucking brilliant. I loved it. It was fantastic. But you lost to England. Yikes. Yikes. I know we're mid now. Yeah, you are kind of mid. No, that is true. You've got 1 bowler and like 3 batsmen. And the rest of them are fucking shit. God. How'd you have a nation of 1 billion people and create a cricket team that poor? I don't know. I don't know how that works. It's just... Anyway. I bet you regret giving me money now. You should. You should feel bad for giving me money. I don't deserve it. But if you wanted to help me out, like I say, with the hype train, everybody, you can do bits and subs, and I will pointlessly attack your nation sporting teams, as if mine are any fucking good. Yeah. God bless you. I blame the caste system or something. Well, it probably does have something to do with like poverty. Like if you grow up in desperate poverty, which fucking hundreds of millions of Indians unfortunately do, you're probably less likely to be able to go through the ranks of becoming a cricketer and making it to the Test system. So you know, rather than having 1 billion people to choose from, you have maybe 50 million, which is still a large number of people, but it's less than in Britain, you know. Anyway, I blame the British. That's always a safe bet. Blaming the British for some shit that went wrong in India is always a safe bet. Thank you, Fogel, for gifting a sub to Rewardian. Much love to you. Oh, here we go. The man himself. Let's go.
We have won because...
Oh, God, that is very quiet.
We have won because New Yorkers have stood up for a city they can afford. A city where they can do more than just struggle. One where those who toil in the night can enjoy the fruits of their labor in the day.
God, that's a good sentence.
Where hard work is repaid with a stable life. Where 8 hours on the factory floor or behind the wheel of a cab is enough to pay the mortgage.
True.
It is enough to keep the lights on. It is enough to send your kid to school. Where rent-stabilized apartments are actually stabilized.
True.
Where
we do that in Britain too, with the affordable housing that no one can afford.
Buses are fast and free. Where childcare doesn't cost more than CUNY. And where public safety keeps us truly safe. And it's where the mayor will use their power to reject Donald Trump's fascism.
Yes. Inshallah.
To stop masked ICE agents from deporting our neighbors.
Fuck yes, mate. Go on.
And to govern our city as a model for the Democratic Party.
Yes. Oh, and the Democrats are big mad. Big mad. Did you see Chuck Schumer, old Chucky Chuck, Charles Schumer, one of the senators for New York State, no less, gave his response. And where are we? To put it mildly, he's big mad. I have known Zohran Mamdani since we worked together to provide debt relief for thousands of beleaguered taxi drivers and fought to stop a fracked gas power in Astoria. He ran an impressive campaign and that connected with New Yorkers absolutely about affordability, fairness and opportunity. I spoke with Zohran Mamdani this morning and I'm looking forward to getting together soon. No congratulations there then. Not a single scintilla. Not a single, like, well done, congratulations, excellent work, you should be proud of yourself. No, none of that. Just, I know he exists. yeah, you know who this person is. Well done, Chuck. You are the senator for New York, or one of the senators for New York State. Look, yeah, you, like he's literally making it all about himself. And not for a second even just going, congrats, mate, well done. Like, nothing at all. He really is the meme of the crying face with the mask that has a smile on it. Like, I honestly, the thought of him frowning makes me erect. I'm just saying, he needs to be primaried immediately. Oh, Fartlow, let's fucking go. May as well get kneecapped to run New York City at this rate. Prick. Like, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, that'd be fucking awesome. Yeah, get kneecapped to run New York City. Chuck y'all are, bitches. Also, like, they would run New York City, but unfortunately they're too busy playing fucking Glastonbury this weekend. You know that thing you tried to get them cancelled from? Oh yeah, she said, oh, this happened, it was Jeremy Corbyn, you know, I've double dipped on that one. Oh, yes. Insurrection Barbie says, I'm legitimately worried NY will go full-on jihad... Well, it's not even jihadi, it's jihadi Marxist. I really need to be wrong on that one. Well, thankfully, IB, as I'm going to call you, you are wrong on that one. Because you're a fucking clown. You believe silly things. Oh, did you see this previously unaired Andrew Cuomo concession speech? It's quite something.
That is a spicy meatball. What's the matter, you? It is a meatball. Pastor for you. When a blue moon hits your eye like a piece of pie.
He led with Gabagool, and I appreciate that. Drew Pavlou, Australia's silliest soldier. If Zohran wins, Western civilization is finished. We did it. We did it, everyone. We destroyed Western civilization. Oh, fuck yes. Let's go. Can we get some W's in chat? We destroyed Western civilization. Oh, here we go. Fucking roller coaster, I told you. Another 25 people were killed near aid trucks in Gaza. Literally, they're doing it every day. Every day. The Israeli government are just doing a flower massacre every single day now. And it's very incongruent that we have, like, or no, that way, laughing emotes in the chat. There's a lag. Anyone watching this back later, it's a lag, you know. Just everyone in chat's in for a rude awakening in a second. Oh, this is so true. The Democratic Party are so shit. Yeah, those dumb fucks thought that Bill Clinton was the closer in 2025. They brought out Bill Clinton to be like, oh no, you should vote for Cuomo. Yep. As if that was a thing that would make more people want to vote for Andrew Cuomo. Yeah. Yeah, well done, Democrats. You've learned precisely nothing. Through all of your failures and fuck-ups, you've learned nothing. Bravo. Oh my god. Oh my god. NYC Democrats already forgot, and then it's a picture of 9/11. Like, I also saw another more extreme example of someone comparing Zohran Mamdani getting elected to the Holocaust. And I was like, I would never be so, like, either sacrilegious or just generally offensive to like, use either the Holocaust or 9/11 or any of these tragedies as, like, in this kind of cheap way. Like, I'll do jokes because they're jokes, but there's not like a serious point behind it, right? I'll do, like, offensive jokes, but they're making a serious point here. And that's fucking grotesque. Genuinely. You should be ashamed of yourself, but I suspect you are not actually capable of shame. And it should... Oh, morning, Joe. Oh, has someone done a wellness check on Joe? Because I don't know that he's gonna be able to really get through it.
Speaking of not lining up well, John Lemire, the Andrew Cuomo for mayor race didn't line up too well for him. The numbers that came in last night, shocking. And here you have the New York Times, of course, with an editorial saying that the winner last night, Mamdani, is not qualified. And then you have the Wall Street Journal, of course, just saying this is no time to elect a socialist who's saying he's all for globalizing the infantada. I mean...
The infantada? What the fuck is the infantada? Globalize the infantada? We'll hear it again.
Globalizing the infantada. I mean, yeah, that's... I don't know if that's...
Okay.
What a lot of people in New York City think they need right now, but it sure looks like that's what they think inside the Democratic primary.
Yeah, it is truly a stunning result.
Well, anyway, infantada revolution, anyone? Oh, God, here we go. As if to show you how completely fucked the political system is, in Britain. The voting intentions of people with jobs, Labour are ahead, the Tories are only on 15%, just ahead of the Greens. Like, you know, that's the way you get. Among the retired, over 60%. Over 60% want to reform for either vote for Reform or the Conservative Party. Do you ever feel like your voters might be dying off, right wing? Do you ever feel like maybe you've got literally a dying cohort? Yeah. Well done. You sold out the political system to a group of people, one generation, and they're all going to die soon. Enjoy. Marjorie Taylor Greene, that's a sitting member of the House of Congress, or the House of no, was it the House of Representatives, who's put a burqa on the Statue of Liberty, and you can tell it's AI slop rather than an actual thing that's been done, because where the fuck is the torch? I mean, to be fair, Marjorie, it probably hits hard if you're a fucking idiot, and you are. Go back to talking about the Jewish space lasers whilst pretending that everyone else is an anti-Semite. Prick. Oh yeah, we'll get to it, but yeah, all these wankers are in the Labour Friends of Israel. We'll get to it because we're going to watch PMQs later, and because Keith, for a second week running, is doing international shit, he wasn't answering questions in Parliament today. So we'll have gone a whole fortnight without hearing from the Prime Minister. Oh no. But we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Oh, our old friend Rafael Cruz. To all my friends in New York who are not communists, come to Texas. We love freedom and we're not nuts. You know, we love freedom so much that we banned pornography. And you'll have lots of freedom. Freedom to watch me run away to Cancun when you're freezing to death again. Stephen Miller. NYC is the clearest warning yet of what happens to a society when it fails to control migration. Because, you know, he's a fascist. He just wanted you to know that he's a fascist. As if we didn't already know that he's a fascist. Who, by the way, has money invested in some of the companies that ICE used to do the deportations. So he literally has a financial vested interest in continuing the policy that he's continuing. Because, like, you know, corruption. The Murdoch press. You knew they were going to have a meltdown. You knew they were going to have a meltdown. NYC SOS is the front page of the New York Post. Yes, I'm happy. I am very, very happy about that. Who will save city after radical socialist batters Cuomo in Dem mayoral primary? Cool. Get ready. We're going to turn all of America into the Islamo-Caliphate Communist People's Republic. Oh God, this NATO is so pathetic. Just listen to this. Just fucking listen to this.
From Sky News. Mark Rutte, the NATO chief, who is your friend.
Mark Rutte, the former Prime Minister of the Netherlands and current head of NATO, just to give you some perspective on that particular human being.
He called you daddy earlier. Do you regard your NATO allies as kind of children?
No, he likes me. I think he likes me. If he doesn't, I'll let you know. I'll come back and I'll hit him hard, okay? No,
he did it
very affectionate. Daddy, you're my daddy.
Do you regard your NATO allies?
Self-respecting human being, Mark Rutte, calling the President of the United States daddy. Now, they have taken the rather more PG approach to that word in describing it as, do you think it's like your father? No, I suspect he said it in the same way that maybe people who are engaged in amorous activity may refer to one another as daddy. A thing I think is extraordinarily gross, but whatever, some people enjoy that shit and that's up to them.
Allies, though, as kind of like children.
Look at Marco Rubio in the background as well, literally giggling.
And they're obviously listening to you, and they're spending more, and you're obviously appreciative of that. But do you hope that actually they're going to be able to
he can't keep a straight face.
Europe on their own without?
I think they need help a little bit at the beginning. And
from Sky News.
Mark. Unbelievable, unbelievable. Literally, we'll play it through one more time and watch Marco Rubio in the background. I'll put him sort of fully on the screen for you.
Rutte, the NATO chief, who is your friend, he called you daddy earlier. Do you regard your NATO allies as kind of children?
No, he likes me. I think he likes me. If he doesn't, I'll let you know. I'll come back and I'll hit him hard, okay? No, he did it very affectionate. Daddy, you're my daddy.
Do you regard your NATO allies, though, as kind of like children, and they're obviously listening to you, and they're spending more, and you're obviously appreciative of that. But do you hope that actually they're going to be able to defend themselves, defend Europe?
Unbelievable. Called him fucking daddy. Like, is there a cook chair for the cook chair? Is there like is there a descending order of cook chairs? And at what point along that process would Mark Rutte even be allowed to sit down? In the Russian nesting dolls of cook chairs, how small would the cook chair have to be for Mark Rutte to be allowed to sit on that cook chair? I don't know, but I mean, it must be pretty fucking tiny. This person, Avi Mayer, says, as a native New Yorker, I permit myself to say, blah, 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 Zohran Mamdani's a piece of shit, etc., etc. I just want to focus on the fact that he says, as a native New Yorker, and based in Jerusalem, Israel. So, you know, they're just admitting it. They're not actually, like, native to the Middle East. He's a New Yorker when it suits him. Cool. Keir Starmer kept on taking football tickets even after the freebie scandal where he said he would stop taking football tickets. Is anyone remotely surprised? Is anyone remotely fucking surprised at this corrupt piece of shit? Also, what happened to that terrorist attack that happened against him? Why do all these Ukrainian rent boys keep burning his fucking house down? Why is that story completely gone away? Why is no one at all covering that very big story? Interesting. Paul Weller just being based as fuck. I just wanted to bring that to everybody. Not every rock star from the 70s was a massive piece of shit. So, you know. I mean, seeing Arsenal for free is still torture. Well, ironically, at the next election, much like Arsenal, he'll be finishing in second. Assuming he even gets to the next election. I don't know. Well, on that point, Keir Starmer says he is very confident he will remain PM and Labour leader amid rebellions on welfare reform. Hold that thought for a second, because we'll get to PMQs in just a moment. I've never been more sure that Keir Starmer will not be the leader of the Labour Party the next election, because he's very confident that he will be. And he's wrong about everything. He's wrong about absolute... Oh, that's a beautiful one. Another bass jam man, because he was in the band called The Jam. That's very fucking good. I should wait for the response from the audience, shouldn't I, really? Anyway. So yeah, Keir Starmer is fucked. Absolutely fucked. Also, just to give you some indication of how seriously people take the Reform Party in Parliament, this was Richard Tice presenting his bill to Parliament today, which he named after Lucy Connolly, you know, the terrorist bitch. Anyway, absolutely packed. Absolutely rammed in there. Look at that. Honestly, you can barely move for the amount of people in the chamber taking him very seriously. Good stuff. Anyway, talking of the Chamber of the House of Commons, boom! Prime Minister's motherfucking questions. Let's get to it. As previously stated, Keir Starmer is away on international business, and so the Deputy Prime Minister, Angela Rayner, who has been embarrassing herself this week by ringing around the Labour rebels trying to get them to vote to immiserate the disabled in this country. So that's a thing. Anyway, and then on the opposite side, the Tory party get to put up basically whoever they like that isn't the leader. So, yeah, it's Bez versus Tory Bez. They're having a Bez off, so to speak.
We now come to questions to the Prime Minister. Mic'd up.
Question number 1, please, Mr. Speaker.
Deputy Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've been asked to reply as my right honourable friend, the Prime Minister, was attending the NATO summit in The Hague. At this time of international volatility, we are working with our allies to de-escalate the tensions in the Middle East and to ensure the conflict does not intensify further. Our aim continues to be preventing Iran from securing nuclear weapon and to ensure...
Okay. It seems I'm going to have to do the thing again. I got rid of it because I was... They stopped saying it wrong. But it appears I'm going to have to put it back. Where's text? Why do they fucking set these things up weird? I literally can't find the thing I now need. Text, there we go, fuck me, alright. So, it's not pronounced the way you pronounced it there. It's pronounced new clear. Nuclear. Nuclear. It's pronounced nuclear. It's not that difficult a word to say. Nuclear. Nuclear. Okay? Okay.
urge the Iranians to return to negotiations. Mr. Speaker, the situation in Gaza remains the gravest concern. Seeing the return of more hostages' bodies and that of Shay Leveson and the Israeli with British family is heartbreaking. The remaining hostages must be released, and while aid must be
release the sausages
delivered at greater speed and volume. Mr. Speaker, this week is Armed Forces Week. Our commitment to armed forces is unwavering. The Strategic Defence Review outlines how we will give our armed forces better pay, better housing and better kit, and I pay tribute to their commitment, bravery and selflessness. Mr. Speaker...
Why do they get better conditions but the rest of the country gets fucked? Why are we about to spend 70 billion more on the military and yet we can't spend any amount of money on the disabled? Interesting that, isn't it?
This morning I had meetings with ministerial colleagues and others, and in addition to my duties in the House, I shall have further such meetings later today.
Mic'd up.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The party opposite gave up on law and order. They betrayed our country and let criminals run riot. Now they desperately post wannabe superhero videos.
Why is this person in the back taking hair advice from me? Look at him. What an absolute fucking Chad. Look at him. Look at that hair. That is a man who just got done fucking in the bushes. Look, he does not give a shit. Look at him. He hasn't shaved. His hair's all over the place. He's laid some pipe. Let's go.
Shamelessly pointing at the problems that they created. But last week, Mr. Speaker, they had the chance to put it right. And what did they do? They voted against tough action on knife crime, on antisocial behaviour and on violence against women and girls. Does the Deputy Prime Minister agree that they should hang their heads in shame for failing to protect our streets?
Order.
True, Maria, true.
Spoke to government responsibilities, not the opposition. Let's come to Mel Stride.
That's amazing. So it was such a wank question. It was such a wank question that he didn't even let the fucking Deputy Prime Minister answer it. Like, your question is so fucking pointless and isn't really aimed at the government in any way whatsoever that I'm not even going to bother wasting everyone's fucking time. Sit down, Angela. We'll get on with the actual questions. Parliamentarian of the decade, I'm sure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is a pleasure.
Oh, God, Mel Stride again. Chris Philp has been... Chris Philp did such a shit job. That's Chris Philp there, next to him. He did such a shit job that he's been relegated to the bench for this week. They've gone to the big gun Mal Stride. Lols.
And opposite the Right Honourable Lady, despite what many may think, we have a great deal in common, not least that we both viscerally disagree with the Chancellor's tax policies. And it is great to see the Right Honourable Lady standing in temporarily for the Prime Minister for the second week running. Although I know there are many sitting behind her who wish this was a permanent arrangement.
To be fair to Keith, like, he didn't arrange the G7 meeting for Canada last week, and he didn't arrange the fucking NATO meeting for the Netherlands this week. Like, I don't want to defend him in virtually anything he ever does, but he's not dodging PMQs, albeit he's bad at PMQs and probably doesn't mind missing out. But, like, he is actually on legitimate international business. Like, that can happen. That's, like, he didn't arrange either of these meetings. They're not being hosted by him, right? He's right, though. Well, he's right in that lots of Labour backbenchers don't like him as leader, yeah. Because he's a wanker. Yeah, he's a prick, yeah.
Indeed, Mr. Speaker, you will find many of their names amongst the 122 who've signed up to oppose the government's welfare bill. They say that the bill is dangerously rushed and ill thought through. So can the Right Honourable Lady explain why she thinks that she is right and 122 of her own colleagues are wrong?
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, first of all, Mr. Speaker, it's nice to face the latest wannabe at your dispatch box.
Again, she's a fucking twat, right? She sold her soul for virtually nothing, and all of that, right? So any slight compliment that I pay to her is not meant as some grand endorsement, okay? But I will say she does have some fucking balls to her. Like, far more. There's, like, she has more backbone than Keir Starmer could ever dream of having. That, you know what I mean? She's actually a human being and not a weird robot boy. Which, yeah, okay, cool.
I'll tell the Right Honourable member why we're pressing ahead with our reforms, and that is because we're investing £1 billion into tailored employment support.
She is a class traitor, this is absolutely correct.
A right to try to help more people back into work and ending reassessments for the most severely disabled who will never be able to work. Mr. Speaker, we won't walk away and stand by and abandon millions of people trapped in the failing system, left behind by him and his colleagues.
Absolute bollocks. Absolute and complete bollocks. This doesn't get anyone back into work. She's talking shit. Hi Kev, looks like you're enjoying some self-induced punishment. I am indeed. And if you want to reward me for my self-harm, and that's essentially what watching this is, you can do so in the form of bits and subs, and subscribe, and do the super chats, and the bits messages, and the memberships, and the Patreon, and PayPal, and Traveller's checks. Is that still a thing? Do Traveller's checks still exist? I don't fucking know.
Well, Mr. Speaker...
Yeah, she said it with very little conviction because she doesn't believe it. We know she doesn't believe it. And yet she's literally the one. Because the rebellion from the Labour backbenchers is being led by largely the left of the party, or at least the vaguely left of the party that's still there. Because most of the actual left left, or were thrown out because, you know, trot hunting, etc. But because of that, they're going with send Bez, working class, you know, union Bez, to talk to them, right? So she's been ringing up the rebels all week, trying to desperately get them on side. There was even some talk that they might scrap the bill. And they're trying to strong-arm them. The whips are trying to strong-arm them by saying, like, oh, we're going to treat this as a vote of confidence on the Prime Minister. if this goes down, there'll probably be a general election. As if the Labour Party are going to vote for the fucking general election. That's not going to happen. It's just they'll lose a bill. It'll be embarrassing, sure, but they're not going to go to the polls. Have you seen the fucking polls? Some of them have them in third place. Like, they're not going to the fucking electorate. It's a lie. They're just lying.
Right Honourable Lady completely sidestepped my question. She can't even defend her own government's policy. Can she at least assure the House that the vote on Tuesday will actually go ahead?
Yeah, the Tories might be playing a very, very nasty game here, where they might actually back up the Labour Party, and it might only get through because the Tory Party vote with the government. Because the Tory Party want to, because they want to cut disability enormously, obviously. They want to cut all kinds of, basically any money going to poor people whatsoever, they want to cut. But they're also going to potentially save the government from falling. So, it's not great politics on their side, but they might do it anyway just to play silly buggers.
Deputy Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, I don't know if he sort of listened to what I said because I was reading off the script, but what I can tell him, and I don't read the script, we will go ahead on Tuesday.
Well, they're either going to have to rely on the Tories then, or lose. Either way, not a good look. Either way, a broken party. Completely and utterly. Thank you, Frudelus, for 6 months. Banging stream title, kid. You're absolutely right, it's a banging stream title. It's rare you get to come out with an absolute ripper like that, but it is. I am very proud of that.
That's right. Well, there you have it, Mr. Speaker. There will be a vote in this House on Tuesday on the welfare bill, although many on the back benches could be forgiven for thinking they've heard this before with the winter fuel payment, where they were marched up the hill, and we all know where that story ended. But, Mr. Speaker, on this side of the...
Yeah, there'll be concessions. There'll have to be. Bilderberg, yeah, there'll have to be. And they'll just have to hope that they can peel off a few of the less committed rebels, just enough to get by. Yeah. In its current form, this bill can't get through with Labour votes. And rightly so. Even... Because some of the people who have signed this aren't even particularly, on the left of the party. But they're in areas where, their voters are dead against this. This is not a Labour Party policy, fundamentally. So the Labour Party politicians are like, I can't vote for this. Even though they don't really care, they can't vote for it because it'd be fucking suicidal to do so.
House, we are absolutely clear. We will help her to get their bill through if they can commit to actually reducing the welfare bill and getting people off benefits and into work. Can the Right Honourable Lady make that commitment right now? Yes or no?
Well, if ever we needed a reminder of the party opposite having no shames, it's their demands for this bill, Mr. Speaker. He demands a programme to help people into work exactly...
And they're such dumb cunts, right? They've just spent so much political capital in their first year trying to freeze Granny, only to then sort of basically backtrack on it anyway. And as soon as that happened, rather than take the opportunity to sort of reset, they've gone, you know what we should do? We should do that exact same thing, but for disabled. So they've spent they're going to end up basically spending the entirety of the first, year of their government doing nothing but trying to make people poorer, to make the vulnerable more vulnerable, and then sort of having to backtrack on it because even their own MPs don't like it. And for what? For what, exactly? What good has been achieved by any of it? You've pissed all this capital up the wall. You've destroyed your own fucking party. You've destroyed your own landslide majority. For what purpose? What positive was gained? Whose life was improved in any fucking way? Nadia Whittam had a great interview today. Well, if you've got a link to that, I'm happy to take a look. Absolutely fucking insane. As politics goes, this is the dumbest shit, honestly.
what this bill does. After he left 1 in 8 young people out of the economy, he demands no new taxes from the party that raised taxes to record levels, and he demands further welfare savings, Mr. Speaker, from the man who was in charge as the welfare bill absolutely ballooned. They say cut welfare bill, they failed. They say cut people in work, they failed. They say no tax increases, they failed.
Bunny in the box, you miss Gordon Brown. I miss the primordial sludge. I miss the time before humans, or before the fish got out of the fucking water and made all of this a problem in the first place. That's what I fucking miss.
Mr. Speaker, I'm afraid the Right Honourable Lady has clearly not read her own legislation. The bill will see the number of people on welfare rising for every single year going forward. There is no commitment from the Right Honourable Lady to cut the number of people on welfare. And even if they manage to deliver these reforms, almost every respected economist now says tax rises are all but inevitable in the autumn.
Cool, tax rich bastards, yes. No, I agree. Awesome.
But after the budget, Mr. Speaker, the Chancellor said, and I quote, "I'm not coming back for more taxes."
Because she's an idiot.
Mr. Speaker, British businesses have been hit again and again by Labour's economic mismanagement. They are desperate for certainty. So can the Right Honourable Lady give them that certainty now and repeat to the House the Chancellor's promise not to raise taxes at the budget?
Deputy Prime Minister. Well, Mr. Speaker, this is a bit rich. Unbelievable. Inflation above 11%. The biggest tax rises by their party. I take no lectures. And on this issue in particular, Mr. Speaker, they can't make their minds up. First they said our reforms were taking too long, then they say they were rushed, then their front bench said our measures were too tough, and now they say they need to be tougher. No plan, no idea. I wonder why their party was left in such a mess.
Mr. Speaker, the whole...
You can kind of tell her heart's not in it. You watch, later on she'll get to questions about stuff that she speaks more like passionately about, and you'll see a difference in her. She becomes like a person again.
House will have heard that the Right Honourable Lady did not repeat the Chancellor's promise not to raise taxes. And Britain's businesses have today been put on notice. Tax rises are coming. Specifically,
so am I.
In her own area, despite Labour's promises to freeze council tax, the IFS says that the spending review will mean the biggest council tax increases in a generation, a £7 billion tax rise. And yet the Chancellor and the Prime Minister have repeatedly claimed that the government will not raise taxes on working people. So can I ask the Right Honourable Lady, why doesn't she think that council tax is paid by working people?
Deputy Prime Minister.
Right, but it's not her raising the fucking council tax, is it? That's not really how that works. If it's massive council taxes, it has to be okayed by the government. But other than that, it's the councils.
Again, Mr. Speaker, I think they've got an absolute nerve when council tax rose every single year under their government. In fact, Mr. Speaker, I had to turn down the Tories on the LJ who wanted me to take away the precept to make sure that they could raise taxes above the 5%. We've kept it there, Mr. Speaker, while delivering money for local government where they had austerity, put taxes up and ruined the British economy.
Well, Mr. Speaker, when you cut out the blather, isn't the reality that this Labour government has condemned us to higher taxes, more debt, fewer jobs, more pain for businesses right up and down our country? Borrowing up, unemployment up, inflation up. Yet the Right Honourable Lady tells us the government's plan is working. It's not just me who isn't convinced, Mr. Speaker. The people behind her are not convinced either.
That's a fair point. You've got to hand it to them when they get it right. The Tory party, so they're like, well, what's the difference? The Labour Party politicians behind her aren't convinced by any of this. They're not convinced by it at all. You can tell that because they're not cheering. You can tell that from the lack of noise coming from behind them. They're not buying it.
And neither are the public. In fact, Mr. Speaker, I'm not even sure if the Right Honourable Lady herself is convinced.
Nope.
So can I ask her, isn't she just a little embarrassed to be defending policies she doesn't even agree with herself?
Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm embarrassed every week that somebody comes here from their opposition who doesn't apologise for the mess they left this country in. There was one party that crashed the economy and left families paying the price. We're putting working people first.
Just in case you were wondering, though, how the Tory strategy is going, Ipsos, which is a generally pretty well thought of organisation, it was one of the major polling companies, released a poll from earlier in June, which had the Tories down on 15 seats. You are not misreading that. They had the Conservative Party achieving 15 seats. You could get them in a minibus. You're in historic wipeout territory. You're in, like, literally, we are never going to hear from you again territory. Exactly. They'd be sat behind the SNP. They'd be up in the rafters behind the fucking SNP. Sat next to Jeremy Corbyn. Like, yeah, that's going. It's super good for you. Well done. Also, the Labour Party would lose over 300 seats, which would be fucking mental. But you can't say undeserved at this point, really, can you?
Mr. Speaker, I'm proud. We've got a huge boost to the minimum wage, the biggest uplift to affordable housing in a generation, and expanding free school meals to 500,000 children. The Tories' choice, billions of pounds in unfunded tax cuts for the very wealthiest. We know where that gets us. It's the same old Tory failed approach. They haven't listened and they haven't learned a thing.
Joe Morris.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Frederick Community High School in my constituency was forced to relocate to Washington after their just over 8-year-old building, built under the previous government, was found to have cracks in the infrastructure. This incredibly distressing news has required huge resilience and strength from...
Excuse me, Prime Minister. Sorry, Deputy Prime Minister. Do you mind while I ramble on about some boring shit from my constituency?
...local community. So will my right honourable friend join me in paying tribute to the staff, to the parents, and most importantly to the students at Frederick Community High School, and join me in commending them for their hard work and dedication during this incredibly destabilising time?
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, I will do, Mr. Speaker, and I thank my honourable friend for bringing this important issue to my attention. I can only imagine the disruption and challenges facing the school community. One of the shameful legacies of the party opposite was to leave schools across our country literally crumbling. We're fixing that
in
with
rack and
£1 billion
ruin.
Of investment in school rebuilding programme over the next decade to rebuild over 750 schools, Mr. Speaker. And I know the Minister for Early Education would be happy to meet with him to discuss.
Deputy Leader of the Liberal Democrats, Stacey Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And may I start by associating myself and my party with the remarks of the Deputy Prime Minister in calling for de-escalation in the Middle East.
Awesome. Anyway, yeah, this is also not the... Oh, hang on. Did it go off? We're getting Fs in chat. What's... Did the Twitch go down or something? What happened there? What happened? What? Are we back? Can you hear me? Can we get some ones in chats? Can we get some ones to show that you can actually fucking hear me? Ones in the chats, please, people. Ones in the chats. And I said that one, that can be the number one or the name Juan or whatever. That's either way works with me. Yes. Also, yeah, so not the leader of the Liberal Democrats. They all do the deputy thing. And Did we? We didn't have the full range of questions, did we, from the Tories? So have they? Because for those who don't know, you get a set number of questions depending on how many MPs you have. So the Tories, as the official opposition, get the most questions, and then blah blah all the way down, right? And I think the Tories get 6 questions, isn't it? And I don't think they had their full 6. So because they can have them in any order they want, right? So you can have, like, say if you've got 6 questions, you can have them in 2 blocks of 3. Or you can have them in 3 blocks of 2, or most of the time they just have the full 6 in succession. So I don't think we had the full 6, did we? It would appear we're back in both chats, which is good. So I don't know what the fuck happened there. But anyway, Aaron 1 Bisaka, that kind of works. I'll let you have that one, as friends Rust. A weird reference point, but love it. Yeah, so I don't know. Also, who cares? It's the Tories. They're going to get 15 seats. I don't give a fuck.
For the release of hostages and for the urgent aid to get into Gaza. Yeah. We Liberal Democrats are opposed to the government's cuts to personal independence payments and carers' allowance. Okay. And with a growing rebellion on the government's own benches, it seems as though the government may be forced to push these cuts through with the support of the official opposition. The Deputy Prime Minister knows that some of those affected are still waiting for justice after the carers' allowance scandal saw thousands of innocent carers hounded for repayments. So can the Deputy Prime Minister give a cast-iron guarantee that if these cuts are pursued, that at the very least, not a single person will lose a penny until the carers' allowance scandal review has been completed? And
the answer is almost certainly no. But will the Tory party get more seats than will Sinn Féin get more seats than the Tories? Well, if they get 15 seats, no. Sinn Féin, I think I'm right in saying, have something like 6 or 7, maybe, I don't know. Let's have a look. Also, it doesn't matter because they don't take their seats, but, Sinn Féin MPs.
Stop it. Get some help.
List of current elected officials. Well, that is not very helpful. That is members of the Dial, which, I mean, is fine, but that's not really what I'm after. United Kingdom Parliament. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have 7. So if the Tories get 15, they'll still have more than double. But to be fair, they only stand in Northern Ireland, so that would still be very embarrassing for the Tories. They also have 2 MEPs from Ireland as well. Fair enough. Thank you, Andrew B4, for 6 months with Prime. Much love to you. Hi, Kev. Been away for a while. Glad to be back in the Kevolution. Well, the Kevolution is an accepting house. You can go away and then come back and in, out, shake it all about. We can do the hokey cokey collaboratively, and then we turn around. That is what it's all about. That's how we achieve socialism, people. Record points 111. Oh, Bunny in the Box. Lovely reference. Fuck yes. Birmingham City, literally the most successful team ever. 111 points in a single season. So, eat my dick.
And the recommendations implemented.
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, thank you for opening comments, Mr Speaker, and she knows that we've already been taking steps and those steps will continue on the carers allowance. The welfare system, as she knows as well, is failing people. Labour are the party of work, but we're also the party of fairness. That's why our bill will deliver the largest permanent real terms increase to basic out-of-work support since the 1980s, invest in tailored employment support so that people can try work safely, Mr Speaker, and to ensure that those that can never work are properly supported.
Load of bollocks. You can tell she just droned that out. That's the Morgan McSweeney line. Absolute nonsense. Complete rubbish. If it's done through Tory support, do you think the fallout would be massive in the Labour Party? Yes, it would be a pretty big split in the Labour Party. If they have to rely on Tory policies to back austerity measures, yes, that would be massively damaging to the Labour Party. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. It's disappointing that the Deputy Prime Minister couldn't give that cast-iron guarantee, but if the Government does pursue this bill next week, then we will pursue this matter on behalf of...
the reason that Liz Kendall looks like a children's villain is because she literally is. She eats children. Liz Kendall, Member of Parliament, Secretary of State for the Department of Work and Pensions, eats human infants.
Carers. Mr. Speaker, given the reports that the government is giving a green light to President Trump's demands for a state visit to be brought forward to September, does the Deputy Prime Minister agree that the UK should urgently convene talks with the White House in advance of that state visit in order to leverage that state visit to secure US guarantees for Ukraine, including the use of frozen...
Oh, God, the Lib Dems are so fucking pointless. It's not, don't do it, right? It's not, don't let this fucking prick come to this country and laud it as if, like, anyone likes him. Don't celebrate this fucking gobshite's existence. It's, oh, well, you should use it to leverage things that we want. Oh. Fucking hell, the Liberal Democrats are so worthless. They really are. It's difficult to even describe, even by the standard of liberals. They're just fucking embarrassing. Oh, we're going to just kill hundreds of thousands with austerity, but we got a 5p bag tax. Like, honestly, get in the fucking bin, you vermin.
Russian assets and to secure a joint UK-US message to Putin that together our two countries will not let Putin win his illegal war.
Well, I say, Mr. Speaker, the UK government is always in discussions, negotiations and talks with our US counterparts. We're really pleased that the US President is coming for a second state visit, and we will continue to welcome in that vein, and we'll continue to have those discussions.
Debbie Abraham.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In Oldham, there are 727 families currently living in temporary accommodation, 8,000 families on the waiting list. And this obviously has a devastating impact on particularly the children of these families. So will the Deputy Prime Minister outline how she will use the £39 billion that have been allocated to her department in the spending review to fix the housing crisis left by the opposition? So families in Oldham, Saddleworth and wider can get their affordable homes that they
Wider?
Well, my honourable friend is absolutely right, and there's neighbouring MPs...
Which of the 7 bins? Yes.
On a
Lovely
temporary
old
accommodation situation and children being homeless, it has on their life chances. And my honourable friend is absolutely right to raise the issue and for highlighting the excellent work, Mr. Speaker, of Dr Laura Nilsson, who is supporting us to develop a cross-government homelessness strategy. All children should have a safe and secure home, and that's why I'm so proud that we've confirmed the biggest boost to social and affordable housing investment in a generation. We're getting on with the job of the mess they left behind.
Gabby Robbins.
Very much, Mr. Speaker, and can I identify...
Oh, God. Why do they allow the Northern Irish fucking lunatics to speak? There are good MPs from Northern Ireland who they could let speak, and they're going to let this fucking bigoted wankstein do it. Oh, fuck off, you cunt.
My colleagues and I with the comments around de-escalation in the Middle East. The Deputy Prime Minister, I hope, will...
De-escalation from the people that want to march past your house with, in fucking bowler hats and orange sashes, going on about the degree to which they've waded in your ancestors' blood. But they want to talk about de-escalation. Fuck off. They literally do the bonfires with, like, death to Catholics and stuff. Like, fuck off, man. You cunts.
Will condemn recent disorder in the streets of Northern Ireland, as the Prime Minister and indeed my colleagues have. Does she accept that the Windsor framework, though sold to this House
a unit, though, to be
as an
fair,
issue for trade, is fundamentally impacting the ability of this sovereign Parliament to legislate on a UK-wide basis on the matters of immigration? Will she commit to ensure this government continues to robustly challenge against that expansionism that is currently before?
All I'll say is we need to flood Northern Ireland with Muslims, because the Christians have not been able to sort the situation out at all. So I reckon all of the immigrants that come into the country, we sort them out and we go, are you a Muslim? Are you a Muslim? You're a Muslim. Okay. Belfast. Go on. Do you know what I mean? Let it become the Islamic Caliphate of Antrim. Ulster says salam alaikum.
For the courts, and if not, will she legislate to ensure that we as a country
can control our own borders.
Yeah. Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, first
Yeah,
of all,
are you a Protestant Muslim or a Catholic Muslim? Well, that's the old joke, isn't it, about the atheist who says, you know, gets stopped by by some, you know, extremist or whatever, and says, "Are you a Catholic or a Protestant?" And he says, "Oh, I'm an atheist." "Oh, yeah, but a Protestant atheist or a Catholic atheist?" Because again, it's not really about the religion as such.
well, Mr. Speaker, I do condemn the violence on the streets and the provisions in the
Do I condemn kneecapping? Well, I do condemn kneecapping, but not Kneecap, the band, which I'm rather looking forward to playing at Glastonbury, and the BBC having to po-facedly show one bit from. They're not going to put it out live, but they will show like one clip in the highlights package or something with them on it, and probably like the 1 second of their show that won't be grossly offensive to, like, I don't know, conservatoids or something.
Belfast Good Friday Agreement referred to in Article 2 of the Windsor Framework sought to address the long-standing and specific issues relating to Northern Ireland's past. I hope the Right Honourable Gentleman is assured that we're appealing a number of the law relating to Article 2 of the courts, including the Supreme Court, and I hope he will also be assured
Who did Tom
by the
Swarbrick
reality
have on?
that the government is consistently applied and enforced immigration law on a UK-wide basis, and the government will take all necessary steps to defend that position, just as we will remain committed to protecting rights across the whole of
The advisor to George Osborne. Fucking hell. Well, a fair and balanced view then, I'm sure.
the UK, Mr. Speaker, as it should be Parliament that makes rules on immigration.
Rebecca Longberry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Last night, Newsnight covered the Daily Mirror's 3-year investigation of the nuked blood scandal, in which thousands of troops had blood and urine monitored, even chest x-rays, during nuclear weapons tests, but the results were withheld from their medical records and their suffering denied for decades. So as a fierce supporter of these men and their families who she's met with...
They'll get actors to dub over Kneecap's actual voices, yeah. Kneecap is a legitimate political band.
...with me, will the Right Honourable Lady agree this Armed Forces Week that time is now of the essence? These elderly veterans deserve answers, justice and an apology.
Deputy Prime Minister.
Actually, oh God, I'm just thinking about Northern Ireland and taking the piss. The Harry Enfield bit was quite good. Hang on. Yeah. This isn't even that much of an exaggeration, okay? So the first character you introduced to, the shouty man, is called William Ulsterman, and he represents the kind of Orangeman type, you know, extreme Protestant. And then they go to, there's another guy. You know.
Oh, hello. You must be Geoffrey's cousin from Belfast. I'm June Binfield. Nice to meet you.
William Ulsterman. I shall judge whether it is nice to meet you, Mrs. Bunfield, by your actions, not your empty words.
Oh, righty-ho. Would you care for a canopy, Mr. Ulsterman?
I should indeed. I should care for cheddar cheese and pineapple on a stick.
Oh, sorry. Don't seem to have any of that. There's quiche slices.
I have made a legitimate and peaceful request for cheddar cheese and pineapple on a stick.
Well, I'd give it to you if I had it, Mr. Ulsterman, but I'm afraid I haven't. I'm ever so sorry.
I totally and utterly reject your expressions of sorrow. Let nobody be in any doubt these are crocodile tears ye are crying. For hundreds of years, my community has enjoyed cheddar cheese and pineapple on a stick. And today, ye have been seen to trample our demands contemptuously unto the mud. Ye vile hag, you shall be judged guilty.
Now, you're just being unreasonable.
Mrs. Bunfield! Mrs. Bunfield! Mrs. Bunfield! Mrs. Bunfield! And it's not me who is being unreasonable. And it's ye! Ye have single-handedly destroyed the spirit of all three Christian people at this special time of year. You loathsome, fat, ugly bitch. May you burn in hell.
Pizza?
Nobody is more committed to the search for Peter than me. But to try and impose your Peter upon me is insulting, outrageous, and arrogant.
Oh, there you go. The Northern Irish accent really is very, very funny. I can't believe they got fucking Murray to do Countdown. To get a person from Northern Ireland to say Countdown every day, several times on that show, amazing. Like they're taking the piss. Countdown. It's not even a word at that point. You're just making face noise.
Well, as my honourable friend said, Mr Speaker, I commend her for the campaigning work that she's done on this issue, and I have met with some of those affected, and I know the strength.
Sorry, I don't get most of what he's saying. That's fair enough. That's absolutely fair enough, Marcel.
Heard their deeply personal testimony and experiences. I pay tribute to all of the nuclear veterans and their enduring contribution to our nation's...
fucking... You even managed to get a nuclear in there. Or a nuclear, or whatever the fuck it was. Where are we? Boom. Nuclear. Dickhead.
Security, especially during Armed Forces Week, and we're looking into unresolved questions regarding medical records, Mr Speaker, as a matter of priority.
Ben Lake. Mr Speaker, I should like to join the Deputy Prime Minister in thanking members of the Armed Forces community for their service. Mr Speaker,
a Welsh accent, love it. The lilt. Oh.
I've had the privilege in recent months of meeting many
tidy, innit?
Veterans in my own constituency, some of whom still carry the trauma of war. Some, including amputees, have told me how repeat disability assessments are too often required of them in order to access financial support. And so does the Deputy Prime Minister agree with me that veterans with life-changing service-related injuries should be exempted from repeat disability assessments in future?
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, Mr Speaker, again, that part of the reforms we want to do is ensure that those that can never work are properly supported and not put through...
Yeah, but you know that's not fucking true. You're going to leave people who cannot work unsupported. You're full of fucking shit.
This endless assessment, and I thank the Right Honourable Member for raising the case. We're committed to renewing the nation's contract with those that we served, and a range of support is in place for veterans, including dedicated medical and physical health care, pathways in the NHS, employment and in housing, and the new support system, Valor, backed by £50
Have a good
million
one, using nameless entity. Thanks for stopping by.
Centres to connect veterans with local and national services.
Natasha Irons.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Successive Conservative governments stripped our councils of funding for youth services, pitting them against services with stronger statutory protections. This has led to 1 in 8 councils no longer having a youth centre, and in Croydon, London's youngest borough, is about to lose its youth engagement team and its last crumb of council-run universal youth provision. So can she outline what this Labour government is doing to support our young people?
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to be able to push them to the left when they're in government, honest. Vote for change. Thanks, Baldrick.
And does she agree with me that this is time again to look at statutory protections for youth services so that all young people, no matter where they live, can get the services they deserve?
Prime Minister.
Well, I completely agree, my honourable friend, that the party opposite left a trail of devastation across education and youth services, and given half the chance, judging by their moans, Mr Speaker, they'd do it all over again. We're making different choices, working with young people to draw up a landmark new national youth strategy, investing £145 million this year to provide stability to the youth sector, rolling out youth future hubs to expand access opportunities and reduce crime, and extending access to mental health support to nearly 1 million more children this year.
Again, you can tell when they don't believe it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The government's expansion of funded childcare from September is welcome, but early years settings are facing a critical staffing crisis that could make expanded provision practically impossible. Not enough applicants, lack of qualifications, low salaries and high turnover mean that many nurseries are operating well below capacity. Many now find themselves operating at a loss due to increased national insurance contributions. So can the Deputy Prime Minister outline what clear steps the government is taking to address the crisis in early years staffing to ensure that all our children get the best possible start in life?
Well, Mr. Speaker, first of all, I'll out that one of my kids is in the gallery and he's just completed his studies on early years, so hopefully that will add a little help to that. But look, we inherited a depleted early years sector, Mr. Speaker, but we're determined to make sure that all children have the best possible start in life, and that's why we're delivering the largest ever uplift to the early years pupil premium, boosting family hubs and Start for Life funding by 126 million this year, and investing 300.
That's a good question. I like her glasses. I wonder who bought them.
70 million to create tens of thousands of places in new and
Lord Alley,
expanded school-based nurseries.
Chris Curtis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Milton Keynes has one of the fastest growing tech sectors in the country, with 1 in 3 people now working in tech jobs at firms like Red Bull Racing and the AI company Amy. Now, Eleanor, a student in my constituency, is in the gallery today, so can the Deputy
AI wanker, brilliant.
Prime Minister let her know, and this House know, how the government's new industrial strategy will support our tech sector and provide her generation with good quality.
This is a question that was written by Morgan McSweeney, and that this fucking sock puppet of a human being is breeding out for him.
Quality jobs in the future.
Well, I'm glad to see that I'm not the only one who's got a young person destined to future in the gallery today. And my honourable friend's been a huge champion for Milton Keynes, and he's right. After the Tory decline, it's time to turn the page. We've already created 384,000 jobs since the election, and our industrial strategy will create opportunities across the country and invest in jobs and industries of the future, including in Milton Keynes, where the East Rail will help build 100,000 new homes and 6.7 million a year in the local economy.
Yeah, Milton Keynes is like if AI was a city.
Cameron Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In 1957, my Tewkesbury constituent Ronald Clark was amongst 22,000 UK personnel exposed to nuclear testing on Christmas Island.
Oh, he said it right.
These veterans and their descendants have suffered various cancers, crippling illnesses and deformities, but the MOD has never accepted liability. Noting the Deputy Prime Minister's response to her honourable friend doesn't quite go far enough. Time is running out. Will she meet with me, my constituent and these veterans to determine appropriate compensation?
The Prime Minister.
Well, again, Mr. Speaker, I know the strength of feeling, and I'm grateful to his constituent Ronald and all the service personnel who participated in the British nuclear testing programme, and I'm sure the Minister for Veterans would be happy to meet with him and the veterans to discuss this issue.
Serena Brackenridge.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Under the old guard of the Conservatives, families had to earn less than £7,400, often in low-paid and insecure work, to qualify for free school meals. But under this Labour government, thousands more children in Wolverhampton North East and 500,000 more across the country will benefit from free school meals. Will the Deputy Prime Minister outline how Labour's plans will put more money in parents' pockets?
Well, Mr. Speaker, we're determined.
Your campaign has the speed of a runaway train. Why are you so popular?
To tackle child poverty, which rose catastrophically under the last government, and that's why we're expanding access to free school meals to more than 500,000 children. This will lift 100,000 of the poorest children out of poverty and put £500 back into parents' pockets. This comes on top of 750 free breakfast clubs worth £450 a year to parents, and a historic uplift in the national minimum wage worth up to £2,500 to the lowest paid workers.
Snowden.
Given the Right Honourable Lady appears to be enjoying spending yet another week practising to be Prime Minister, maybe she can give...
As if she's ever going to be allowed to become Prime Minister. Fuck off, mate. You absolute thumb.
Her view on who she would get rid of in the up-and-coming reshuffle. Would it be the Chancellor for killing economic growth? Would it be the Work and Pensions Secretary for the botched handling of the welfare bill and the winter fuel cuts? Would it be the Environment Secretary for trying to destroy British family farms? Would it be the Foreign Secretary for giving away
family farms? Yes, that's definitely true.
British sovereign territory and paying billions to rent it back? Or given the Prime Minister is now polling as having the most unpopular first year in modern British political history, would she do herself and the country a favour and tell him to show himself the door?
Mr. Speaker, maybe he wants to go next week because it's been quite the carousel, and the leader of the opposition said she was going to get better week on week. She already has in the last 2 weeks by not
Kemi's not even there and she's had a bad one. Kemi's not even there and she's getting fucking rinsed. How'd you not turn up for work and have a bad one? How do you... Like, that's almost like a philosophical question. How do you not turn up to something and yet have a bad experience at the thing you didn't turn up to? Spectacular. Spectacular. Kemi Badenoch is reaching levels of fail that were previously thought impossible by science. She is defying the laws of physics with the levels of L she can post.
Justice Secretary a go.
Hey, Oliver.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm proud and honoured to say that I've served this country as a reservist parachute, which is why I'd like to thank and take this opportunity to thank all our service members and their families during Armed Forces Week. This Labour government has announced the largest sustained increase since the end of the Cold War. Will the Deputy Prime Minister set out how the government will rebuild Britain and secure our defence for the future?
Well, Mr. Speaker, I thank my honourable friend for his question and for his service. He's absolutely right. Our armed forces represent the very best of Britain and put their lives on the line for us every day. It's our responsibility to support those who defend us, and we're delivering the biggest sustained boost to defence spending since the end of the Cold War. The Strategic Defence Review sets out our vision for defence, driving jobs and prosperity and renewing the nation's contract with those who serve to secure Britain into the future.
Oliver Dowden.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and it's a pleasure to be asking the Right Honourable Lady another question at Prime Minister's Questions, although this time just the one. There has been a proliferation...
Yeah, because you remember, he used to be in the Shadow Cabinet? No, the Cabinet, indeed. And he's such a fail that now he's just on the back benches. He's so bad that he can't even survive the dregs of the Tory destruction. And he's just reminded everybody of that, so thanks, I guess.
Of houses of multiple occupation in my constituency in places like Potters Bar and Borehamwood. Quiet residential streets like Tiverton Road and Organ Hall Road are being blighted by houses, quiet family houses, being converted into houses of multiple occupation, leading to a surge in antisocial behaviour and parking problems. May I therefore urge the Deputy Prime Minister...
Can we move the poor people out? My nice middle class and upper class constituents don't like to see the plebs. So if we could just shift them into Reading, perhaps, or Middlesbrough.
To look at enhancing the powers of local councils to stop these kind of developments where they are not wanted.
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I do miss our exchanges. I hope he's been wearing his Factor 50. He knows how it can get for us gingers in the hot weather. But he also knows, Mr. Speaker, that local authorities have planning powers to limit the proliferation of small houses into multiple occupation. And his government left a housing crisis. I'm getting on with fixing that with the 1.5 million homes that we're going to deliver.
Is it a dog whistle? He is sort of doing a kind of a dog whistle, yes.
The member for Clacton put a singular burning injustice first. The plight of overseas billionaires paying too much tax. Does the Deputy Prime Minister agree with his priority, or with me, that the Reform UK doing sweetheart deals with the super rich is a betrayal of British working people?
I mean, yeah, it is. But I mean, the British government are also that, so, you know. But yeah, I mean, he is correct.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I was asked about the member for Clacton's mathematics the other week, and my honourable friend is absolutely right. The mask has slipped again this week. The honourable member for Clacton demands billions more in unfunded tax cuts for the very richest, while he marches through the lobbies in the House of Commons to vote against sick pay for the lowest earners. We know who pay for reform tax breaks, Mr. Speaker, for overseas billionaires, tax hikes on working people and patients being charged to see their doctor. Labour won't let that happen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When my young constituent Axel was given his EHCP a year ago, his primary school place was withdrawn and no replacement offered. His nursery allowed him to stay on till Christmas, but since then, apart from a short break at a school, he's had nothing. He's at home with his mum, no alternative provision for younger children, and those young children can't travel a long way. His mother also can't go to work. So while I welcome the white paper in the autumn, can the Deputy Prime Minister commit to Axel's mum, but also the parents of Freddie, Ewan, Ethan and the other 640 SEND children with no school to go? There'll be somewhere for them in September.
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'm really sorry to hear about Axel and the other cases that the honourable member mentioned. Those with special educational need do deserve proper support and shouldn't be left at home. We're determined to fix the SEND system and support children before issues escalate to this type of crisis point. We're investing £3.4 billion this year to deploy specialist teams across early years and primary school settings, helping to identify and respond to speech and language needs, particularly for children with SEND. And we'll set out our full plans, Mr. Speaker, to the reform of SEND this autumn, including support for early years.
You, Mr. Speaker. Growth needs to be delivered and felt in all parts of the country, and the infrastructure strategy, changes to the Green Book and the £1.8 billion secured for the North East are a clear demonstration of our commitment to that. In my area, Moor Farm Roundabout is blocking growth and is causing misery for people locally. Does the Deputy Prime Minister agree with me that improving infrastructure in the north, like at Moor Farm, will show how we are investing in all parts of the country?
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, she's absolutely right, Mr. Speaker. The previous government didn't have a plan for areas like the North East, and I know she's been a champion regarding the Moor Farm roundabout. And this government is changing the situation by investing £15.6 billion funding for local transport projects across the country, opening up access to jobs and improving living standards, including in...
No, I love her accent. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't taking the piss. Locally, it's lovely. It's yeah. I wasn't mocking. I was mimicking to celebrate or whatever. You know, I think it's nice.
The North East.
Neil O'Brien.
Mr. Speaker, Labour have invited proposals from cities to expand their boundaries, and the Mayor of Leicester wants to expand the city to swallow up areas like Oadby, Wigston and Great Glen. But local people don't want this, and thousands of them have signed our petition against it. It's not just the higher council tax, they want to keep their own local identity. So will the Deputy Prime Minister...
So weird NIMBYism, but for entire towns, I suppose.
Rule out this totally unwelcome city takeover, and if she does want to press ahead with it, will she at least give us a say in a local referendum so that we can tell her again, we don't want this?
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker...
We went asking if she just stood up and went, shut the fuck up, you boring cunt, and sat down. That's what she should do. Now, she might get pulled up for unparliamentary conduct, fine. She might have to withdraw certain words, but the words will have been spoken.
What they were told at the general election is they don't want you. I mean, all right then, your government, you might have slipped through. But the one thing I will say, Mr. Speaker, is the honourable member said about his own government. There's a lot of things we should have done. There's a lot of things we should do that we didn't do. And to be honest, I couldn't agree more, and we're getting on and doing
There's
it.
the known knowns and the known unknowns and the
In
unknown
Armed
unknowns.
Forces Week, will the Deputy Prime Minister join with me in paying tribute
Oh, dingus. Keep that thought in mind.
to my former colleagues at RAF Bryce Norton? I know she will share my horror that some on the opposition benches responded to that appalling attack on that base, not by recognising the consequences
Briefcase wanker.
of 14 years of Conservative underinvestment in our defence, but by personally smearing one of our brave members of the Royal Air Force. Does she agree with me and my
God, this is such a fucking dumb pantomime.
honourable and gallant friend from North East Derbyshire that this Labour government will always support our armed forces, and that those shameful comments of deputy reform bring disgrace upon him and his party?
Well, Mr. Speaker, my honourable and gallant friend speaks with great authenticity and authority on this matter. And the attack on the RAF Bryce Norton was disgraceful. But what was even more disgraceful...
Again, these are the same people who will wear a fucking rosette celebrating the suffragettes. They do that regularly to virtue signal. Even though the suffragettes literally bombed people. They sent fucking mail bombs. They attacked the houses of politicians. They broke windows. They threw themselves under the king's horse. Like, motherfucker, you'd have prescribed them if they were around now. They'd be called terrorists by you if they were around now. You'd have all the thing, you might agree with their sentiments, but you can't go around being violent. You have to work with inside the system. That's the only way we get any change, honest. Fucking joke, man.
Disgraceful is reform blaming the commanding officer, an accomplished woman who has served her country, rather than the criminals that were responsible. That's not leadership, Mr. Speaker, but we shouldn't expect anything better from the party of the Putin apologists.
Slipped that one in at the end. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. London boroughs are collectively facing a funding shortfall of at least £500 million for the current financial...
Oh, the Right Honourable Jenny's not in tonight. That's a shame. There's usually a doggo, but she's not there. For whatever reason.
year. But despite this, the money allocated to local authorities in London by the government spending review fell 35% short of the amount requested by London councils. Now, under the government's planned changes to local authority funding, the two councils in my constituency, Richmond and Kingston, are set to lose out even more while the cost of funding local services continues to rise. Is it the government's policy that London residents should continue to receive ever-increasing council tax bills while their local authorities have less and less money to spend? Thank you.
Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, what I would say is that we're fixing the foundations of local government after 14 years of austerity that was inflicted with the aiding and abetting of her party on local government. In the past, we're putting record funding into local government and multi-year settlements to help them. We're helping local government where they ruined it.
Elsie Blundell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Digital black spots are areas without good mobile broadband connectivity are holding communities back. In Middleton, an area my right honourable friend knows well as a fellow Greater Manchester MP, many local businesses and people remain cut off from the economic growth of the wider city region due to lack of mobile signal. How can we make sure that this government's mission to capitalise on the promise of technology is felt in all parts of the country, including Middleton?
We can't move on because the last question is important.
Well, Mr. Speaker, she's absolutely right.
There's only a couple of more minutes.
I've had digital
Be patient.
spots as well myself, so I understand the member's frustration. I would say to the member, the industrial strategy was launched this week, and there are some great ideas, and now we make sure we get super fast broadband everywhere, and that we can all use our phone, Mr. Speaker, to make sure we can get connected when they left us disconnected.
Final question, Jeremy Corbyn.
Thank you. Jumbly Crumbles gets the last question. Told you we had to hang on.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday 86 people were killed in Gaza by Israeli forces. A further 56 were shot dead whilst queuing for food to try to sustain themselves under the occupation of the Israeli forces. Israel stands condemned for acts of genocide, for war crimes, for their occupation of Gaza and their activities in the West Bank. So 2 points to the Deputy Prime Minister. Why does Britain still supply parts for the F-35 jets that have been used to take so much life in Gaza? And secondly, how is it that this country has got to this situation where we stand on the wrong side of international law when war crimes and genocide are concerned? So will she support my private member's bill calling for an independent inquiry into how our policies evolved into this parlous situation?
Yeah. Now, I wonder if maybe Angela Rayner won't support his private member's bill for an inquiry into the British government's involvement in genocide. I wonder if it's because she might have some conflicts of interest. That's her speaking before the Labour Friends of Israel conference. The Labour. In case you were wondering about her position on this.
Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, Israel's recent action is appalling and counterproductive, and we strongly oppose to the expansion of military operations, settler violence and blocking of humanitarian aid.
But you're not going to do anything to actually try and stop it? Okay.
We have suspended FTA talks and sanctioned extremists.
But then Lord Austin, the head of those talks, went to Israel anyway, so no, you didn't.
Supporting settler expansion in the West Bank, and it's a long-standing principle, Mr. Speaker, that genocide is determined by competent international courts and not for governments. And
Okay, so why did you agree with the government at the time when they described Putin's invasion into Ukraine as genocide? Why would you? Because that hadn't been decided by a competent court at that point. And yet the government said this is genocide. You agreed that it was genocide. So why were you okay with going outside of the courts when it comes to Ukraine, but not Israel? Bless Israel. Fuck off.
we do not sell arms trades directly to IDF that might breach international humanitarian.
Yes, you do. Stop lying.
Law.
You also do fucking reconnaissance flights for them, so fuck right off. Fuck right off and continue to fuck off forever. Oh, I said F Israel and it got blocked. Oh, sorry. I don't set the filter for that Red Bomber X11. I don't. It either blocks it or it doesn't. YouTube decides. So, I mean, I think I can add words that aren't allowed or whatever, but I haven't added a single word, so it's entirely up to YouTube as to what is or isn't allowed.
Right, that completes Deputy Prime Minister's question.
So, a load of bollocks. Absolute load of bollocks. She lied. She's a fucking genocidal freak. And I hope this government gets brought down next week with the fucking rebellion over benefit cuts. But who knows? Now, dear chat, it's... What do you mean it's Twitch? Oh, sorry. On Twitch. Okay, sorry. Well, the same applies. On both YouTube and Twitch, I don't have a moderating thing where it's, where you can and can't say certain things. Like, if it was up to me, you'd be able to say whatever the fuck you like. And if you say something dumb and terrible, I'll fucking rinse you for it. I'll absolutely... No, because that could be actionable. I will metaphorically go after you and all of that. Yeah. Seriously, I despise Israel. That's fine. That's fucking cool. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, it's YouTube or Twitch that bans or blocks comments and phrases and stuff. I don't give a fuck. Yes. So But do you think it will bring down Starmer? I don't think it will. But I think it could damage him enough that he might be gone within a year. That's certainly possible. Yeah. Israel delenda est. Mega loath also works, I suppose. Anyway, so viewers yesterday will have sat through the slop and enjoyed it because it was premium slop of Anna Kasparian, everyone's favourite bonus whole birthing person, being right about something for once ever, or in the last couple of years. Now, I stopped that because I thought the conversation had ended when they moved on to talking to this husk of a ghoul, John Bolton, who should be either dead because he's very old or at The Hague for his many war crimes. Anyway, it didn't end though. It didn't end. It carries on afterwards, which is fucking awesome. So we're going to watch that. Now, before then though, there was also the bit where I showed you the cricket of Brett Lee bowling and hurting, bowling the ball at like 100 miles an hour or whatever, and or 90 plus miles an hour at Piers Morgan and hurting him. There is an addendum to that because I didn't realise the story behind that thing, right, and the outcome of it. Because he seems basically unhurt by the end of that story, doesn't he? Except he gave an interview on the Harry Redknapp show. Harry Redknapp is a very old football manager. Actually managed the Birmingham City Football Club, my team, for a little bit. Anyway, he told the story of that, of what happened there, and yeah, it's fun. Now I'm going to go for a piss whilst I let this play, okay? Enjoy.
You like your cricket, Piers, as well, don't you?
Yeah, I love it.
How was it that day when you was in the nets here? I mean, that must have been the most scary thing I could think of doing.
You know, it was one of those things. It seemed like a good idea when I was firing off, because what the context was, they lost 3-0 before we got there. So by the time I got to Australia, I was steaming with fury that this was all over before we'd even got out there.
Yeah, yeah.
And two tests left, Melbourne and Sydney. So I went on Twitter and started giving it to the English batsmen about how gutless they'd been against Mitchell Johnson, who'd been terrorising them. Anyway, Brett Lee pipes back at me, "Do you think you could do better, mate?" And I went, "Yeah, anytime." He said, "Really? Would you fancy facing me in a net?" I went, "Absolutely."
Oh,
you know, put my phone down, and my kids were like, "What have you done?" So Brett Lee organised it, and then I thought it'd be like 100 people out the back, a bit of a laugh. He'd go easy on me. It
was packed.
10,000 people came out the back. It was like Gladiator. And the Aussie Test team came out, led by Mitchell Johnson, who bear hugged Brett Lee. Then the TV cameras arrived, Channel 9 in Australia and Sky here, both did it live. My sister later called it. She said, "Oh my God, it was like watching a public stoning." And, and I'd had some warm-ups and was feeling all right. I used to play a lot of league cricket where you face bowlers up to maybe early, 83, 84 miles an hour. So quick, but not that quick. Brett Lee was still playing in the Big Bash and was being timed at nearly 100 miles an hour. And so any sense that he might go easy was killed by the fact this crowd arrived. Then the Aussie Test players arrived. Then the TV cameras arrived. Shane Warne's there, Mark Nicholas, Michael Vaughan, all these guys. And this is now serious. And he's like going to prove his point, which is, you think this is easy. And the first ball we came in, I didn't see any of them. And it crashed into my... I'd had dinner with Viv Richards the night before. And he said to me, "Man, you got to take the battle to him, man. Go down the track, That's easier said than done. If you Viv Richards, you can go down the track to Brett Lee. If you're me, who hasn't played league cricket in 8 years, you can't do that." So I went down, and you see me advancing towards him. And he then spears me. And afterwards he said, "Oh, mate, it's like when a shark sees blood moving in the water. It just follow it." And anyway, the first one smashed my wrist. I thought he'd broken it. Then I knew I was in a world of pain where I would not see any of the balls. He was pumped up and coming at me trying to kill me. The second one, I dived for cover. The third one broke my
Yeah,
wrist.
there's no way that Sunday League cricketers do bowl that fast. He's full of shit.
Clean fracture. The fourth one hit the broken rib and it cracked. We both had headsets on, and he came running down and went, "Oh, mate, did you hear that one crack?"
So it literally broke his fucking rib.
Then Shane Warne told him, "Look, you got to give it one to hit." So he yorked me, obviously smashing the stumps, and then the sixth one, he hit me again just for good measure. So I was hit 4 times, broke a rib. Actually, had the rib broken twice because he hit it again, and then yeah, absolute agony. However.
Anyway, so he literally broke his fucking rib. Literally broke the rib. So, like, that story gets even better. That story's... it's not just good to watch. It's good to know he had to go and seek medical attention afterwards. Fun times.
Thanks for having me.
Anna Gasparian, I mean, here's my sort of issue, I guess, with a lot of people on the left in relation to this story, is that you end up sounding like you're siding. Hang on one second, please. Please allow me.
It's all interrupting already. Love it.
To talk to different members of the panel. Is it that on the left you end up sounding like you're, shilling for a vile regime? The Iranian regime.
But, Piers, look, it's so annoying, because Piers Morgan, as he is wont to point out regularly to try and prove that he's not one of those people, you understand? He opposed the Iraq war. And so he should know that one of the tactics that got used against people who opposed the Iraq war was, oh, so you love Saddam Hussein then? Oh, so you'd rather the Kurds were gassed by Saddam Hussein every day? Like, no, Saddam Hussein's a fucking prick. But I don't know how murdering 1 million Iraqis is going to fucking help anyone. Is that a better situation for the Iraqi people? If ISIS fucking take over? But no, ISIS didn't exist at the time. But you know the point I'm making, right? So, like, why are you now doing the same thing that you know was illegitimate and dumb when it was said to you about Saddam Hussein in Iraq that you're now doing for the Ayatollah in Iran? Look, you know it's an illegitimate line of argumentation, because the vast majority of people who don't want war aren't necessarily either pro fucking the Iranian government or even know what the fuck the Iranian government is all about. Most people don't know what the fuck's going on there. They just know war is bad and I'd rather not be bombing people, thank you very much. It's fucking ridiculous.
Oppresses women. Well, hang on. Let me hang on. Is it they oppress women?
I know what you're going to say. I know. I hate the regime in Iran.
Right.
I hate the regime.
So why
in
wouldn't
Iran.
you want
I
it
hate
changing?
The mullahs. There are Armenians living in Iran right now who hate the mullahs. Okay, but regime change should
but
not be.
Anna Kasparian, only care about the Armenians in Iran that don't like them. That's a very like. Okay, I get it, but like, bit weird.
Heard by the United States and Israel, which wants to install a puppet government on their behalf. And by the way, the Iranians know that.
That's the point. Any government foisted upon them by Americans/Israel is never going to be like accepted by the Iranian people. In the same way that the government that was foisted on the people of Iraq was not accepted by the Iraqi people. And it led to unbelievable amounts of like destabilization and all the rest of it, right? Epic tech. What? Here's an epic anime mech you can appreciate because it has an epic tash. Does it? Oh, that's a tash. Oh, okay. Right, I'm with you. I mean, it's Phantom. Epic mustache or not, it's degenerate. Okay? It's fucking degenerate filth. If you bring anime onto my channel again, you will be purged. Okay? I don't, like I say, I don't add filters on the words that people can say in chat, but I do draw the line at you bringing anime onto my show, okay? It's immoral, it's against God, and you will be condemned to hell for eternity. May God have mercy on your soul.
We know that. Polling indicates the vast majority of them want regime change. They don't want it to be done by Israel. You have to be clear about that, because I think there's an intentional misframing or false framing of what's happening in Iran right now and what the population actually wants. Now, with that out of the way, my issue, Pierce, is that the United States has been expending its resources and has been essentially sending its soldiers to die in wars on behalf of Israel, a country that goaded us into invading Iraq on a false pretense of...
No, I think she's referring much more to the Iraq War, where thousands of Americans died, and many, many more were grievously injured for a war that Israel wanted. Now, to be fair, America wanted it too. George Bush wanted it too. The neocons wanted it too. They're all a sort of amalgam of cuntery, if you will, right? They're all one big group of wankers, to some extent or another. Inhuman, ghoul trash. They wanted this. Fucking Benjamin Netanyahu was frothing at the minge for the war in Iraq. Oh, Saddam Hussein's got loads of nuclear weapons, but I don't have nuclear weapons. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Benjamin Netanyahu. I need to move that one out of the way. I don't need that again. Benjamin Netanyahu, don't have any nuclear weapons. You don't need to do anything about me. But Saddam Hussein's definitely got nuclear weapons, and he can launch them in 40 minutes. And he's got the kind of missiles that will definitely be able to reach London and New York and Los Angeles. So crazy. Whoa, you need to go and have all of your soldiers killed in Iraq. Yay! So yeah, no service personnel have died in this particular war for Israel, because bizarrely Donald Trump is, I don't know, one of the more cowardly American leaders, because obviously he wants to do war. He literally did. He bombed them, right? And the fact that it's failed miserably, he's just going to ignore that. Just scream fake news at the intelligence. Who cares? Who cares? The intelligence says no, they haven't been turned that back that much. He goes, I don't care. No, they have. I, Donald Trump, the knower of all things, have decided that the Iranian nuclear system has been destroyed forever. Literally, it will be impossible. But he's too much of a fucking coward to put boots on the ground. It's not because he's a dove. It's not because he's anti-war. It's just because he's a chicken, dare I say.
Weapons of mass destruction. 4,000 of our soldiers died in Iraq. You didn't send a single IDF soldier. Not one IDF soldier was sent to Iraq. Our soldiers died on your behalf, Kunrikis, on your country's behalf.
Not at all.
And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. You guys are committing a genocide right now. Yet
We're good boys. We're just little small beans. We had nothing to do with it. Oh, they're such lying cunts, man. Fucking hell.
And nuclear power, that's not...
In the name of Mamdani, praise be upon him.
In the non-proliferation agreement. Why? Why is that? How come you guys get to play by completely different rules? You're genocidal. You're disgusting. The world sees you guys for what you are.
Let him
You're the people of Israel.
Rebel.
You're a genocidal government. You guys make me sick. You make me sick.
So deep.
You make me sick.
Let him
The
answer.
entire international community.
No, this is not even from last night. This is, well, it's the same thing as last night, but I didn't realise that the conversation went on. For some reason, Piers Morgan is such a fucking tit that he decides to break up these conversations to go and like have a pre-recorded interview with John Bolton halfway through. Like, it's fucking nonsense. Like, have this discussion, or whatever this is. I don't think it counts as a discussion if they're just screaming at each other. Then talk to John Bolton and give him a soft soak interview because you're a fucking ball licker. You're a neocon prick. And then move on to whatever else. Don't, like, chop it up so it's like some sort of staccato, like, fucking jazz piece. Like, what the fuck?
It looks at your government
Let him
and
answer.
get sick even thinking about it.
We know that he makes you
So
sick,
maybe,
but let him
calm
answer.
yourself, for God's sake. We're trying to have a conversation here.
The history
and I'm trying
books
to
will write
answer
about
what you're
your
saying,
government
but you're
the
not
way
even
that Americans read about the
acknowledging me
Nazis
as
today.
a
Trust
person.
me.
Instead of just screaming at me and looking like a lunatic who just keeps on screaming at other people, could you for a second allow me to say 2 sentences? No, you don't speak on behalf of anybody but yourself. You weren't elected. You don't represent anybody. You're a talk show host, and you don't.
God damn it, Piers Morgan, you are the biggest cuck. Honestly, it's between you and Mark Rutte for cuck of the day, I think, on this one. Like, fucking sort them out. Say, no, okay, look, I control this. We can cut the mic on any of you fuckers. Like, what the fuck is that? And he just sits there, like, oh, I'm just in the cuck chair while other people scream on my TV show. Meh. Call him Daddy. Call him Daddy, Piers. Go for it.
Represent anybody. You've never stood for anything. You've never fought for anything. You're a talk show host. And you don't represent.
Hey, Mixed Vivian Wolf. Hello. Everyone go and follow Mixed Vivian Wolf. Otherwise, I will strike you down. I won't do that, but you know, you should do it anyway. You know, you should go and follow Viv because she's fucking awesome. Enjoying the Mamdani meltdowns. I really have been. Yes. I think my favourite probably has been Eve Fartlow. Probably. Although there have been a couple of excellent ones. Marjorie Taylor Greene putting a burqa on the fucking Statue of Liberty. Delightful. Really, I mean, really special.
Anybody. And the fact that you think that it's effective to accuse me of all kinds of nonsense and you think that that will rattle me, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Many and better people before you have tried.
No, the only thing that rattles Israel is fighting an army that can fight back. I mean, they are some of the bravest warriors when it comes to killing, like, women and children and blowing up hospitals and stuff. But as soon as there's an army that can fight back, if they can send actual rockets back in return and start actually, you know, hurting Israel, no, don't want that. No, we'll go back to killing the kids.
Right? And they have all failed. But let me tell you something. Your hatred is so showing. Your hatred of Israel is blinding you. You're not able to distinguish between different situations, and you find yourself supporting a genocide.
Did she do the accent? Hang on.
Your hatred of Israel is blinding you. You're not able to distinguish between
terrorists. What was that? An Israeli accent or a French accent? What the fuck was that word? Beautiful. Was it French? I don't even know. I don't know.
Different situations, and you find yourself supporting a genocidal regime just out of your burning hatred towards Israel. And I think that is so compelling for people to see how you behave.
All 5 people. Okay, we've reached levels of derp that I didn't think was part. Literally all 5 people are talking now. All 5 of them are talking. Can we just, like, I think even at the most fucking useless that the hippy dippy was, I don't think there was ever a time when every single person on the panel and the host were all talking. Spectacular. Piers, you are an Al train, my friend.
Otherwise, I'm going to literally give up. All right, let me just look. Let me go.
I feel bad for the people of Israel who are now under
go back,
threat
if I
because of the
may, to
belligerence of your
Carve.
government
Let me ask
and
Carve
military.
this question. Carve, in an ideal world, Carve, do you think it's right, as John Bolton said, that the young population...
This isn't fair. She's been screaming over me the entire conversation. I've said one sentence, and I've been sitting here for 45 minutes.
I agree.
I would really like to say one sentence without her screaming like some crazy person.
Well, then
totally,
let's see if she'll let
totally
you.
consumed by her
You guys
hatred.
are such victims.
Right. So I would like to say one thing.
Oh, it's so true, though. Oh, I'm a victim. I can't even speak. Look, I know you're used to, like, being asked really, really silly, soft questions by Western journalists, and that this is the one time ever you faced any pushback, and you're dealing with it really badly, by the way. Like, fucking hell. Again, they find it much easier fighting an enemy that can't fight back. It's the natural habitat of the Zionist.
Please, could you, contain yourself for 20 seconds? Could you contain yourself for 20 seconds, please? Like, you've been screaming and ranting all over this debate, and it's not meaningful. People don't hear what you say. They don't hear me. Nobody makes sense of it. So please do me a favor. Do me a favor and allow me at least to say 2 sentences. The Iranian regime now is struggling like any dictatorship with a new and dynamic situation. They're not used to not being in the driving seat. They're not used to not dictating in events. And for the first time in 25 years, Israel is taking the initiative. And Israel has now...
Oh, yeah. For the first time in 25 years, Israel's just been chilling. We've just been vibing for a quarter of a century. We haven't done anything. We're just little small beans. We're just little ooh-woo EP babies. Over here in the corner just being chill. But the Iranians have forced our hand. Really? Like, fuck off, mate. You're a clown. Thank you, James Holmes, for a year. My dear friend, for a year of membership on the YouTube. Much love to you.
Back the layers of the ring of fire around Israel, and Israel is, yes, and I can say this not officially as a spokesperson, but this is what I understand. Israel definitely is trying to bring about regime change in Iran. Why? Because it would be better for the entire region, for the Iranian people, and definitely for Israel.
But many people,
prosperity.
All right, but Jonathan, many people also... Hang on. Many people, Jonathan, also think there should be...
Israel
Hang
project,
on!
look into it.
Hang on! He's getting redder. The gammon is somehow getting rawer as the heat improves. It doesn't make any sense.
For his sake. Many people, Jonathan, also think there should be regime change in Israel because of what it's been doing in Gaza. So there's a lot of talk of regime change generally.
Piers.
Yeah, well, okay, but
but that's called elections.
Sure.
Okay, so why doesn't he hold an election then? Oh yeah, because he'd lose and he'd have to go to jail. So he just does war forever and ever and ever and ever.
And I have many friends. I have friends and family who feel the same way, and I have others who feel differently. And luckily for Israel, luckily for us who live here, and luckily for the 2 million Arabs who live in Israel, Israel is a democracy, and we get to vote, and we get to vote what we like. Currently, we have a government who...
Except, of course, when those Arabs elect Arab representatives to the Knesset, and then they say things that you don't like, you can just have them removed. They don't get to speak. Fuck them. You allow them to be racially abused in your parliament. Not a problem. That's just whatever. But it's such a cool, peaceful organisation. Cool.
I think is definitely should be criticized for many things and how it has managed those situations since October 7. But I think the government and the Prime Minister has done a very brave and good thing for the future of the region in attacking Iran.
Okay, let me give the final word to
Hang on, can we get an agreement on this? Is the K silent or not? Because I used to pronounce it Knesset. And people said, no, the K is silent, it's just Knesset. And now I'm saying Knesset, and now you're saying the K isn't silent. Can we get like an official... Is there a speaker of... Is it Hebrew, I think? That can confirm this? Because it's annoying. I've been corrected both times. So it has to be one of those two, surely.
Guest. Over to you, Kaveh, for your final word here.
Well, Mr. Morgan, it is abundantly clear that 2 nuclear-armed states are ganging up on another state, the regional rival, using a lame excuse of proliferation in order to cause regime change, partly because Iran is part of a new multipolar world, member of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, part of the BRICS nation, and the United States has been seeking a rollback of the historic Iranian Revolution for 46 years, and now are seizing on this opportunity in a very systematic fashion, using their mouthpieces, such as your guests here, in order to provide the stage setting for this rollback strategy. And all these spinners like the warmonger, who Mr. Trump himself labeled as a warmonger, who didn't like a war that, didn't start in the world, is not cheering Mr. Trump because Mr. Trump is implementing his script for regime change in Iraq. This is a travesty of international law, a violation of the UN Charter. Most of the world leaders have condemned it. And Iran, by the way, has paralyzed Israeli.
Actually, I don't think that's true.
Israel's economy is paralyzed.
They haven't condemned
I don't think it's true. I don't think it's true that most world leaders have condemned it at all.
Financial hemorrhage, and hundreds of Iranian missiles have landed in Israel and have penetrated the paper dome, which you call Iron Dome.
The paper dome.
You talk about regime change. Oh, look at the destructions in Tel Aviv that's making Tel Aviv into another Gaza.
Let's talk again in 6 months and let's hear what you say then. Let's talk again in 6 months.
I'm going to leave it there.
Let's talk in 6 months.
Israel, the tiny inconsequential
Let's talk in 6
Israel.
months.
Honestly, I am completely and utterly.
You are hallucinating.
Okay. I tell you what, I'm hallucinating. I am hallucinating.
Just the other day,
I am hallucinating.
Okay. I am hallucinating.
Only regime
yes,
change
I know.
Will be the genocidal.
Okay.
God almighty, he's so partridge. I am hallucinating.
That's the only regime.
Okay. I am hallucinating. I'm exhausted. I'm bringing it to an end. Thank you all very much. Well, do you want me now?
Oh, unfortunately, he didn't mean he's bringing his life to an end. Oh. How do you pronounce Knesset in Hebrew?
Knesset. Knesset.
So there is a K. Knesset. So I was right the first time. So whoever did the fucking when the K is silent, I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna fucking be very annoyed at you. And on that bombshell. Thank you everyone for listening and watching. This has been a fun one, albeit interspersed with PMQs, which was frankly mostly boring. Oh. Whew. Remember when Zionist made art of a superhero called Iron Dome? Looks like his kryptonite is missiles. True. Anyway, I'm gonna fuck off. Who's going on YouTube that I can send everybody over to? And I'll be back tomorrow with, I think it's the final question time of the season until after the thingamajig, after the summer recess. So join me for that. I'll send you over to Katie Montgomery, who's cool. Go and say hello to them. Who is going on Twitch that I can send everybody? Kev is going to kneecap you. No, I will not do that. That is a very serious accusation of criminality. Who's going? Well, the serfs are going, but I go over there so much. At least on YouTube I do. J Marianne? Oh, we haven't been over there in a little while. I'll go over to J Marianne. Ooh. Okay, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow, as I say. So it'll be a relatively late one, either 8 PM if I want to do an early one, or I might just come on at 9 and do PMQs straight up. Who knows? Yes. Thank you all for listening and watching. Massive dubs. Massive dubs for Zohran. Massive dubs for humanity. Free Palestine. No pass around.